The battle for Middle-earth is about to begin.
So it begins.
Send these foul beasts into the abyss! It's my power. The great battle of our time.
Welcome to the Zorpazorp Battle Games in Middle-earth livestream. In this series, we cast our gaze back in time to the roots of our beloved Middle-earth strategy battle game to explore the fortnightly magazine serial Battle Games in Middle-earth. Each episode, we will delve into a single issue, poring over a treasure trove of retro gaming, following in-depth painting guides, terrain tutorials, and some crazy battle reports, all with a modern twist so you guys can enjoy them in your games at home. With each installment, we'll also focus on a release of models that accompanied the magazine, following their journey from painting bench to tabletop, and then at the end of every live stream, they'll be randomly assigned to one of our loyal Patreons to continue their days of gaming abroad, spreading the gospel of Zorpazorp. So, in the immortal words of the magazine itself, let battle commence. Welcome to Zorpazorp Gaming, my name's Lachlan Linton Keane and welcome to our 20th Battle Games in Middle-earth live stream. That's right, we have done 20 of these pretty much over the last year, which is hugely exciting. I can't believe we are still going strong. If this is your first stream, welcome, and to everyone who's joined us before, welcome back. This is our Middle-earth live stream, our Battle Games in Middle-earth fortnightly installment series, where we go through the classic retro magazines from the early 2000s. In each installment of our live stream, we go through one of the magazines, we look at all the painting guides, all the terrain, all the battle reports that are in that magazine, and we paint up any models that used to come with that old episodic installment in the early 2000s, and we get those in a battle report, we play some games with them, and then whoever we roll up on our magical Patreon giveaway wheel, which we will see later on in the stream, manages to score themselves some beautiful minis, and they become the official sponsor of those minis, and they get to follow their journey through the campaign. So if you want to be in the draw for today's lucky draw, make sure you head on over to Patreon. It's all linked down in the description below. And today we've got a cracker. It's our 20th anniversary, so we are going off script today. We are not following a magazine. We are going through an installment of our live stream as chosen by you. So we put together a poll at the end of last fortnight up in the Zorpazorp community Facebook group, which is linked down below. If you're not a part of that, you should be. And we basically said, what do you guys want to see? And we had two things get voted nice and high on the list, which I'm very excited about. They're actually the top two, so I don't even have to lie and not choose something I'm not interested in. And that was Knights of Dol Amroth, which we will be painting up, which I'm very excited about. And then, of course, we have the battle report. And the battle report was chosen by Mr. Justin Tricker, a good friend of the channel, and he has suggested a fantastic little battle report, which we're going to combine with our Knights of Dol Amroth, and that is to go retro, to go back into the early 2000s for some Angmar goodness, before Angmar was even invented. We're going to play with some old school Angmar ghosts. We're going to have Rangers of the North fighting off spooky ghosts and Dusk Wraiths and Revenants and Specters, but not the new Specters, the old Specters. It's going to be very, very cool. I'm going to jump into the chat and I'm going to come and say hello to everybody who's here. Oh, we got a whole bunch of people joining us. 88 people tuning in this morning, a bright and early Australian morning or a late evening all around the world. Let me come to the top And let's see how we can go. First up, we've got a question from David Hackett. He's asking about parry in battle companies. Yes, you can use that every fight. Parry is an awesome special rule. Johnny Russell's joining us from Scotland. Reagan Smash, afternoon from Texas. The Nerd Shack is excited for Dol Amroth. He says, for Gondor, for Gondor. KS, one of our Patreons, is joining us. We've got Jimmy Palmer from the UK. We've got Georgie Ramstead, as always, from upstate New York. Andreas from Germany. Renga, our correspondent from the Netherlands. We've got, Mean Green, 2 Netherlands in a row. That's not very common. Oh my god, Tim Hazelkamp, 3 Netherlands in a row. We're on a streak, a hat trick for the Netherlands. Benny WL is watching from England. He's excited for number 20. James says, Angmar, this is my hour. Yeah, Angmar's going to be fun. I'm excited. I love the old Angmar profiles as well. Dylan Dye is joining us from Massachusetts in the USA. We've got the Shacks tuning in from Finland. Jeez, we're getting a lot of that Northern Europe at the moment. Kevin hasn't been able to tune in for a couple of videos, so he's excited for this one. Marky Tribe is joining in from the Darling Downs in southeast Queensland, Australia. Indeed. Good on you, Marky. We've got more Netherlands with Marcel. Tim says, am I going to be giving away Gulliver for this special occasion? Not quite, no. No. I don't even have Gulliver, actually. Somehow, he's a beast. I love him. But I've only ever, played him, proxying him with a Mortal Troll when I was working out my Angmar lists, and I still haven't gotten around to, because I want the metal one, right? I don't want the Finecast one, so I haven't found one yet. Well, I haven't found one that isn't prohibitively expensive. Elliot's joining us from Manchester in the UK. Darren McWilliams, as always, tuning in from Ireland. Mac Attack from Central New York. Mikey says, good evening to everyone. And he's coming in from Hampshire, UK. We've got El Alto Senor from Uruguay. Good afternoon in Uruguay, I think it would be. It refreshed. Back up to the top, back up to the top. So many of you tuning in. Wolflord says, it's so crazy how pumped he gets for the intro. Yeah, we like the intro. Jesus all up. Very exciting stuff. Declan is watching from New Zealand. Morning, dude. Jan. Ooh, that's an incredible last name. Let's see if I can do this. It's CZ. It's CZUM. I'm gonna, let's go Shumazenko. Maybe? Or is it? I can't remember what CZ is. There's a special... CZ in Polish is a special phonetic, but I can't remember it. Let me know how I went, Jan. Or perhaps Jan. I'm not sure. Greetings from Poland. We've got... I love your streams, but not often I can be on live. Yes, of course, in Central Europe time. It's like midnight now, I think. Perhaps even later with the daylight savings change. Yes, but he still loves the streams. Fantastic. Thank you for joining in. Ben says, has anyone got any of the new 4K Lord of the Rings Blu-ray trilogy? I was in the JB Hi-Fi where we buy DVDs, or where some people do, and it's been a long time since I bought a DVD. Streaming services have changed my viewing habits, but yeah, I went looking and it wasn't in there. But I'm not sure if I want to buy the new 4K edition of the movies, because the 20th anniversary edition is coming out next year. So it's sort of like, what's the point? But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if that's going to be 4K though. It would be cool to have it in 4K. Nerdjack says, "What's up, Lockie?" Kevin Zed is tuning in. He's excited that we've hit our 20th episode. Blackie from Poland. Ray can smash said he'd love if he had a TV that went above 720p for the 4K, obviously. We're streaming in HD today. Used to stream in 4K, but that doesn't happen anymore. So you only need HD, it's fine. And Michael says, good evening from a locked down Flintshire in northeast Wales. Currently only allowed to leave the county for work, education or medical reasons. Yes, of course, it is still a crazy time for lots of people around the world. Here in Queensland, we are having a phenomenal run. We've been incredibly lucky, probably in small part due to our government and large part due to our lack of population density, which is definitely the major factor, I think. But I mean, we have a tournament in 3 weeks with like 30 or 40 people. You know, we are so lucky here specifically in Queensland, but more broadly Australia. But you know, there are people who are seriously locked down and still seriously affected. So it's a very good time to be living in Brisbane, Australia. And I'm very excited to finally get back to gaming. I actually went to my local hobby store on Friday night for the first time in like 7 months. And I met some guys and girls there, and we had some games, and you know, I played a bit of Star Wars Legion, a bit of 40k, and a bit of Middle Earth as well. Had like a just bring whatever you want to play, let's meet up again session, and it was awesome. I was like, oh yeah, there's like a fun social element to this hobby. So it was really nice. So I hope that everyone can get back to that at some point around the world and be as lucky as us here. We've got Retro Basement tuning in from Sweden. Paulie Carroll's joining in live. He says, finally getting a chance to watch one live. It's been a while. Joshua McLean is joining from Brisbane. Hey, dude, how you going? We've got... oh, it has refreshed again. Oh, it's Ukrainian, says Jan. But I got it pretty right. Hey, awesome. Fantastic. Vaughny B says, greetings from the Warp. From the Warp, I can speak. Sammy Cynthia is joining in. Richard the First from Brazil. Oh, we are getting such a breadth, such a wide range of tuning in locations today. Samwise the Brave is tuning in from the Shire. Definitely not Milton Freewater in Oregon. Oh, cool. Rengo Katterberg says the movies are now in the cinema. So I think either you're saying that you can go back to watching the cinema after lockdown, or that you can watch Lord of the Rings in the cinema, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Marcel, who is also from the Netherlands, I think, says a few days ago they had Lord of the Rings in cinema. Very, very cool. We have like this huge Netherlands contingent watching. This is awesome. Team Netherlands represent. Jill says he reckons that they'll be in lockdown for the rest of the year at this point. Yeah, it's pretty bad over in that Central Europe area and the UK as well, obviously. Yeah, Mac Attack says, very jealous, very jealous. Georgie Costello, a second member of Team New Zealand, joining in. Congratulations on your recent appointment, Mr. Georgie boy. Well done indeed. He is now the New Zealand League Coordinator. Fantastic stuff. And I think that's everyone. No, I think it skipped a whole bunch of you in the middle. Yes, I definitely missed all of these people. We've got Belgium tuning in with Thordelum Del Caladai. That's an amazing name. We've got Shadow Knight. First time tuning in for Shadow Knight. Welcome, a newbie. Watching in from England. We've got Phil Curran joining in from the UK before it's sold off by the Conservative Party. I'm not super familiar with UK politics. So that may be controversial. That might not be. That might be very true. I don't know. Jazzy Payne is keen from Dol Amroth. I just added your name to the Patreon wheel, Jazzy. Welcome to the family. We've got Will Byer from the Utah in the USA. Naib is watching from Sweden. Sammy Cynthia may or may not have been on TikTok for some reason and missed the start of the stream. Unacceptable. Only approved if you were TikToking pictures of Wells. Johnny Two Hats. Good morning, Johnny. Hope you're doing well. Mikey Jones and +1 Manchester, UK. Hikazu says, for Gondor, but from Sweden. I like that. I can get on board with that. El Elto Senor says, yes, good afternoon. I got it right down there in Uruguay. Fantastic. Jeremy, or Jeremy perhaps, is tuning in from Quebec. Fantastic. Dale from the UK, and I think we are almost back up to date now. Nate's Miniatures is joining in. Hey Nate, how you doing, man? I did miss a tag up earlier. Blah blah blah. He's tuning in from South Australia, actually. South Australia represent. What's it like down there at the moment, Nate, in terms of lockdown? Are you guys all right again? I know your borders are like hard shut because of Victoria's proximity, but how are you guys going down? I haven't checked in with anyone from South Australia in a while. Hello from Greece, says Call of Cthulhu. Matty Hogg's joining in. And then Seb says, I need to start baking sentimentally attached to a plastic well. TikTok. Dave is watching from London. Grimmy Left from Greece. Julian from Birmingham. Fabrizio from Peru. And Wado66 is more for Team Netherlands. Well, fantastic. That is a whole heap of people joining in. While everyone jumps on in and says hello, let's have a look at what we are doing today. So we are, like I said, we are going proper retro. Let's get rid of this intro. I don't need that in my stream software anymore. What we need is a slideshow. Add input, image, photos, that one. All right. Go. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is White Dwarf issue something a long time ago. I couldn't find the actual magazine. It's somewhere in my storage unit. But luckily, I've played this battle report a long time ago on the channel. And these are, well like, uploaded to a random Dropbox account I'm pretty sure I don't even have anymore, but they're there. And so I put the link to this down in the description. So this is the Rise of Angmar little mini supplement that came out in White Dwarf. So this is the scenario we're going to be playing today, but we're going to be modifying it a little bit. Essentially, the theme here in this original scenario is that a whole bunch of specters and stuff are like attacking the Arnorian border, but we're going to move this scenario forward in time so that we've got it's instead that Rangers of the North are going on a scouting party, and for some reason there's like a diplomatic envoy from Dol Amroth who ventured north, maybe to try and reconnect with their Numenorian bloodlines that they think might still be around. So we're going to have some Knights of Dol Amroth getting ambushed by all the Spectres and stuff, and then Rangers of the North coming to their aid. It's going to be very cool. It was the idea of this style of thing was suggested by the wonderful Justin Tricker, and I've modified it a bit to include our Dol Amroth. There was a follow-up scenario, which was the Ettenmoors, which is just basically lots of cool trolls and stuff. We also played that on the channel, so you can check that out if you want to see some old school battle reports. And then it came out with a bunch of profiles. So this is where we first got Arathorn, which is Aragorn's father, and then Arador, Aragorn's grandfather, which is not a current existing profile. Let's actually have a look at these guys. Let's see what their profiles are like. I'm just zooming in on my monitor here so I can actually read it. So we've got Arathorn, he's 65 points, 3 might, 2 will, no fate, of course, because he dies. He has a hand weapon and a shield. So he's like fight 5, strength 4, d5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 6. Pretty boring profile, really, not much going on there. And then we have Arador, he's much better. He's still 3-2-0 on the heroics, fight 6 for Arador, so that's where Aragorn gets it from. Strength 4, d5, 3 attacks, 2 wounds. 2 wounds, 0 fate is still brutal, but he's got Lord of the Dunedain. Born of the line of Elendil, Arador is a respected and noble leader, so he's got a bigger strength, range of thingo. Courage, stand fast. He has a Dagger of Westerners, and I have no idea what that is anymore because it's an old rule. So let's keep finding out. Let's keep looking through this old supplement. And then we have some history about the Witch Realm of Angmar. It tells us a little bit about Angmar. We've got stuff about the Men of Khan Dum, which is, of course, one of the factions of Angmar. We've got, a few little bits of lore. We don't need to read through that. Looks exciting, though. Where is my streaming? Let's go to the next page. And then this is where it starts to get interesting. So this is where we have some custom profiles start to come in, which we might use a bit further on in the channel. We'll have to see how we go. We have Men of Khan Dum. These are sort of like just those generic evil men, basically. We've got a Warlord of Khan Dum. He's just like a fight 5, defense 6. He's sort of like a captain. Yeah, I think he's basically a captain, but a little bit better than some captains that are available. And then Men of Khan Dum are basically... they're just warriors of Rohan, but they get an extra fight value and drop a courage. So they're that classic man profile with a fight value buff and a courage debuff. Their main point of difference is that they can get throwing axes. And then we get into the real stuff. This is the stuff we're going to be using today. So, this is our first big spooky evil hero. This hero is called a Revenant. He's 75 points, fight 3, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 4. He's sort of like the precursor to the Barrow Wight. Although I think Barrow Wights would have existed in this time. We might use some Barrow Wights today as well. We'll spec it out. So, he's got a couple of super interesting rules. The first one is Chill Aura. So, he causes terror, but then in addition, any model that tries to charge him within 3 inches must roll an extra dice when taking a courage test and using the 2 lowest rolls. So it's sort of like having channeled Terrifying Aura. And then he's got Ethereal Touch. So this is just that classic Ethereal Blades rule from Warriors of the Dead. So they strike against courage instead of defense. And then this is the really fun one. I love this one so much. Spectral Curse. Such is the malign power of a Revenant that any foe slain by one joins it in the undeathly grasp of the spirit world. If a Revenant kills a model in close combat, the evil player may replace it with a Specter. All Specters in this way, created in this way have the same profile and don't count towards your number of models for the purpose of victory points. So when he kills people, he spawns Specters. Now, what are Specters, I hear you ask? Well, they're these little dudes. They are Courage 5, Courage 5. They're 5-point little models. They're not the Specters that we know and love of today. They're basically just like really crappy little ghost warriors. Fight 2, Strength 2, Defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, and Courage 2. They're fairly rubbish, but they cause terror, which is amazing for a 5-point model, and they strike against Courage. So they're actually amazing. They're so good. So they're pretty cool. Then there's also some Spectral Wargs, which are the same thing. They're just Wargs, but they strike against Courage. So some cool little old school profiles. I think that's what else we got here. 2 more pages left in the supplement, and then it just shows a couple of little bits of lore. Oh, and then there's this other profile, which we won't be using today, called the Dusk Wraith, which is like a mini ring wraith. They're meant to be like the lieutenants of the Witch King. And effectively they have 3 points of will. They can also cast spells, but the Witch King can like use their will instead of his own, sort of like the heralds create might points for the King of the Dead. So some exciting stuff. So they're the profiles we're going to be having a play with today, and some old school scenarios. We're going very old school indeed, but first we're going to be painting some Knights of Dol Amroth. Let me quickly join us back in the chat in case I've missed anything, and then I will swing the camera around. Where were we? We were up the top here. We've got, oh wow, there's 120 of you tuning in. Welcome everyone who's just joined us. Aaron has joined us. Good evening, Aaron. Aaron says, crap, what have I thought it was starting later, what have I missed? You have not missed much. We've just had a quick look at the Angmar supplement from an early White Dwarf that we're going to be looking at. So we're going through some retro Angmar profiles today, and then we're going to be painting up some Knights of Dol Amroth, and you've missed me saying hello to everyone. So you've missed very, very little. Nate says we had next to low lockdown here, and basically the borders are back open. Yeah, cool. And he thanks my random Dropbox account. So yeah, if you guys want those 10 images from White Dwarf, they're linked down in the description below, or they should be. Let me know if they're not. I'm pretty sure I put them. Sam says, but will Barland stay still? We'll have to wait and find out. Yeah, hopefully everything opens back up on the 1st of November for us. It should be good. Arnor against Angmar is my favorite element of the Lord of the Rings background, says Jan. Yeah, I love it so much. I hope that one day we get like a new Ruin of Arnor scenario, or like supplement book. I think that would be absolutely amazing. Riddy Keeley says, I'm about to paint my first ever Knights of Dol Amroth, so I'm really keen for some painting tips. James says, memories of seeing those profiles. Yeah, man, the retro White Dwarves are just insane. I'd love to just like do this live stream for like the rest of my life, right? And eventually we're going to run out of these magazines. So one of my idea was that we could just like go back in time to the very first White Dwarf when Lord of the Rings was included in like early 2001, with that article with Rick Priestley and going on about the game's design, and then just each fortnight work through a White Dwarf instead of the Battle Games of Middle-earth magazines. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. So in the Facebook group, I've put up like my live stream announcement post where it says live now, and it's got a photo of our stream today. So if any of you guys are painting along with stuff, make sure you throw an image of what you're working on or what you complete in that thread, and I'll have a look at the end of the stream. And I think, without further ado, it's time to go and set up the camera on the other side and have a look at my little Knights of Dol Amroth that we're going to be painting up today. So, I'll see you guys in just a sec, and we'll swing this camera around. So here we go. Let's have a look at what we're painting today. I've just got my little wet pellet here. I'll make up, get a bit of that grease paper in there. Wax paper, whatever the hell it's called. I've got my, you can see here in the background, there's a little bit of ruiny business, which is exciting. And let me just make sure I've got my chat up. All right, beautiful. Make sure you guys let me know if the audio's all nice now I've moved over. And today we are painting up two little models. We have, well, we're going to try. We've got Prince Imrahil, the classic Battle Games Middle-earth model. So this is like the model from issue 35, so we're sort of leaping ahead to there. And then we have this fantastic little beast who I've been wanting to get painted for me for ages. So this is the Dol Amroth Banner Bearer, because I need to make a start on my Dol Amroth forces, because I'm going to be using some Dol Amroth when we play the Minas Tirith battle report a little bit later on. Call of Cthulhu says, Mori became a legendary legion, question mark. Yes, in the new Quest for the Ringbearer supplement. And Matthew Poitras says the audio is good. Thanks, Matty. So, what I've done is I've given them a spray with lead belcher, and then a bit of a sneaky spray with a white prime. To give us a starting point. So there's a little bit of overspray in different regions, but I'm not too worried about that. But I just wanted to give us a good base coat. So I think the first thing we are going to do is work on the silver. It's the biggest level. Now, for those of you who know Dol Amroth, the silver is bright and beautiful and huge. Now, normally I would go to Stormhost silver, but it's been shitting me off lately. So what I want to do is I want to try and establish something with some Canoptic alloy, which is quite bright. And then we'll use the Stormhost Silver as a layer. And this is kind of just a bit of an experiment, because I want to see how this works over lead belcher, how it works just kind of in general. So I'm going to throw a bit of that down in the palette. And we're basically just going to be doing a bit of experimenting today, because I haven't painted. I might bring you guys a Hey, there we go. Thank you so much to Aaron Noonan for giving me the buzz on Facebook, you legends. And everyone else who tried to message me. James Palmer as well. Don't know how I did that. I think I leant on the button with my elbow when I flipped back to look at it. So, I wonder how long I lost you guys, but at least you got to see what I was doing. Yeah, if in doubt, I'm always on my phone, so just keep pinging the chat and eventually I'll notice. Those of you I know more broadly will usually drop me a message. So, I wonder how much information you guys lost. So, yeah, I know, right? Aaron makes a great comment. He said, I see this is when the MSN button needs nudge. This is when YouTube live stream chat needs nudge, like MSN used to have. I always say that. So, in brief summary, you guys got to watch some lovely me painting with music, which is the best live content you've ever seen. We've been working on these silvers, and I've brought in Canoptic Alloy, which is a brassier silver, right? It's got a little bit of a red pigment through it. Been using it a lot for my Necrons lately. And I'm playing with the idea of putting that down as a real mid-tone through this silver, because it's got that little bit of a red, and we're going to be washing this armor with a blue to put some blue in the recesses, like good old Dol Amroth armor has. And we want that to be pretty cool and pretty sexy, and I'll see if that gives it a little bit of pop. So the Canoptic Alloy's gone down all over Imrahil, and you can see just how much it's brightened up the steel, right? That beautiful bright highlight here. There's Lead Belcher in the shadows. This is still Lead Belcher, so you can sort of see the difference between the shield and Imrahil himself. Cthulhu says, I see Black Shields on the Moria Legion. Will they be re-released? Hopefully. Hopefully, we think they'll at least come out on a made to order, or maybe they'll be permanently added. They were already done. So, someone... Thought Ellum says, lost it at the moment you started painting. Okay, great. So there, I've covered all that. So let's grab some more, and we're going to hit this guy as well. So this will be a great example on these kind of big, broad areas. I've loaded up with my Canoptic Alloy. I'm just going down into that center chest area and putting down a whole bunch of it, but not letting it run all the way into the sides. Let's go to the shoulder pads now. Doing nice, big, broad highlights. Still leaving a bit of Lead Belcher in the recesses, but most of it is turning to the Canoptic Alloy Silver. Now I've got white cloth here as well, so I'm not worried about that because that's all going to have to be relayered with white. If one of you lovely people in the chat could jump on Google Images and have a look at some Knights of Dol Amroth for me, can you let me know if the gloves are white? I believe the gloves are white. They're still steel, obviously, but they're painted steel. So you can see this highlight really is quite broad. It's very much a layer highlight. I'm just leaving Lead Belcher in, like, you know, a little bit of the recesses that don't get caught by the brush. But I'm just focusing on getting a nice bright tone over all of that silver. Not worried about sort of light sources or anything like that at the moment. We might do a little bit of light source work with the Stormhost Silver when that goes down. Black gloves but grey highlights. Okay, interesting. I think I always did white gloves on mine, because I sort of wanted an extra pop of white. Well, we'll have a think about that. We might look at the black gloves, see if it adds that extra bit of contrast. Could just throw some black Templar down on them, give them a subtle grey highlight. That could look cool. Regardless, they're not metal, so we don't need to be highlighting them right now, which was the main reason for checking. We've got that little lip there as well, which needs a highlight, just on the back here. Thank you to Wolflord and Jazzy and James and all of the people who went and looked for me. Ah, the old metal knights are white gloves, says James Palmer. There you go. Yeah, Stephen Bonner's making the same point. KS says, I'm hoping for a made-to-order for at least the old mounted wraiths. Yeah, Dale makes the same point about Quest for Ringbearer. Steve says white gloves. So yeah, look, I think I think it's a little bit of writing on the wall, the fact that we not only haven't had that made to order from Rohan, and we also, you know, we still haven't had the quest Ringbearer. So we know that Games Workshop's production is super congested at the moment because they've got reduced people allowed on the floor. So the way that their factory works, to the best of my knowledge, is they have, you know, a specific kind of production line in the factory pipeline that focuses on making metal models, and it can only make so many. So models that are needed for stock kind of go in a queue. And I think with the release of 9th edition, and then add that on top of those restrictions, they're sort of having trouble, I imagine, just filling the requirements for 40k, which is obviously a much more important system to Games Workshop's bottom line. So I think the made-to-orders and metal model production for Middle-earth is super low priority. So I don't actually know if we're like gonna see those made-to-orders anytime soon, which is a little sad. So we could go to Stormhost Silver now, but I think now might be the time to actually start putting down our washes. So we're going to go old school to Citadel's Azhuman Blue, an old school wash. This is an old paint pot that I resurrected recently by adding some Lamian Medium into it, and it may in fact actually be too blue as it is out of the pot. It looks pretty pigmenty, and we want a fairly subtle wash. You know what? It's good. It's good. I don't think we need to wash it down anymore. So I'm going to come in with Azhuman Blue, and we're going to wash the steel armor with a blue pigment, which is not something you see done super often. But it's one of the awesome things about the Dol Amroth scheme. So we want to get this blue in all over the silver, especially into those lead belcher recesses. The armor has a really lovely blue sheen to it, and then we'll come back in and put in another silver highlight. And we'll have a sexy looking armor. And it's just effectively doing the same thing as Null Oil for the armor, right? Shading it, showing the recess detail, but it gives it that little blue tint. It's very cool. It's very cool. It's important that it's not too obscene, I think. I looked at some of my older Dol Amroth paint jobs that I painted when I was like 15. And the blue wash is just like so heavy it loses all subtlety. But you can see now just how it's kind of gently tinting it, giving it some life. We hit the large shoulder pauldron as well. It's really sucking a lot of the brightness out of it too, which is interesting. But it looks quite cool, I gotta say. The should probably have highlighted the edges of this shield, actually, now I think about it, but that's fine. I'll just wash it back and we'll highlight it later. I suppose it doesn't matter if it goes on the inside, because that's all getting rebase coated. It's just the outer edges I need to make sure look nice. Maybe a little bit on that back section. We'll just do the armor though, we're not going to do the sword blade. I think that's looking pretty good. It's probably might be a tad excessive, but I kind of like it. It's a nice little stain. We'll see how it comes up with highlighting. Let's get our second guy done. Start from the bottom this time, so it's a bit easy to remember where the hell I've actually washed. In and around. I think next we'll go on to our washes. We're going to put some contrasts down in a few areas, so we'll get all these kind of like drying layers happening down at the same time. Just going to get a little bit more Azhuman Blue back in the lid reservoir there. Get a little bit of this blue look all over that nice chest plate, the recessed detail of the chainmail. These are such stunning models. I know everyone hates them, especially the big helmets, but I love them so much. They're like my little taste of fantasy in Lord of the Rings. Like as in Fantasy Warhammer. I get that the massive wings probably don't belong here and it's probably excessive, but They look super cool to me. They're just, the lens of nostalgia is too strong for me to hate them. All I wanted when I was a kid was a big army of Dol Amroth, but I couldn't afford it because they were metal blisters back then. Now I probably still can't afford it because they're Forge World box sets, but the at least the plastic Knights of Dol Amroth Knights came out. That's a game changer for their affordability. A little bit of this has got white overspray, but it's not too bad. Yeah, some of the like the mounted captain model. There's like quite a few of the old Dol Amroth Knights that are like quite rare. Alright, that's looking fantastic already. Just a little bit of that blue shade down, and our armors have got some really cool definition. Super happy with that. So, what are we going to do next? Well, probably need to put down... What we're going to do actually is we're going to quickly grab White Scar. And I'm just going to rebase the white that I didn't manage to get with a primer, so the white that's like between the legs and things, just so there's at least some indication of a white there. And then we're gonna I'll try not to get it like too brush strokey, but I'm not worried about the quality of coverage that much, because this is in no way my finish. It's just to get it a little bit of a lighter tone than like Lead Belcher, which is quite dark. Between the legs. Just to give us something, because I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do on this channel, and that's I'm gonna use Apothecary White. It's a paint I shit on a lot of the time, but I want to give it another chance. So there's one thing, like I usually I like to use my kind of Null Oil glaze, but the one thing that's not fantastic at is cloth and soft edge highlights. So I think this will be a good little test. Right into the recess there as well. Alright, so we'll put Apothecary White down on that white when that is ready. That needs to dry. Oh, you know what? Let's do the gloves white. Let's make that... Ooh, I don't know. What about like a white glove and a black glove? Is that insane? Let's do a mix. I don't know if that's insane or not. So let's pick which arm's going to be the white glove. Let's go white glove is shield arm. No, we'll go white glove is sword arm and black glove is shield arm. So what I'm gonna do, call me crazy, but I think this will be really cool. So I'm picking out the white of this banner wielding sword arm. I'm keeping it off the metal that I've already painted. Man, I love these models so much. Alright, and then Imrahil. Imrahil's also going to need that white on his sword arm. I really need to get like a decent white paint. This White Scar from GW, my one is either old or it's a shit paint. But I'm fighting it like every step of the way whenever I use it. Does anyone have any recommendation for white paints? Vallejo, I think, supposedly has a nice one. Alright, so that's our white glove down. While we're here, I'm just going to grab Black Templar from my paint pot and we'll do that other glove on the banner bearer. I might do the pole as well. We might do the pole itself in a black. Yeah, we'll see. Templar, where are you? Black Templar. That was easy. White Scar is never great, says Reedy Kill. GW white paints always seem to have problems. Aaron says scale 75 flat white is a great white. Yeah, I believe that has pretty good coverage, I think I've heard for that one. Which, I mean, scale 75 paints I think are usually fairly thin for their metallics, but we'll see. Alright, so a bit of Black Templar. Let's throw this down. and we'll see if we regret it greatly. That's a bit too much pigment on the brush. Such a small area. I think it looks pretty badass. Just a little black glove. Just a little point of difference to break up all of the lighter tones. You can see why the new Forge World scheme went with black. Oh, my contrast paints are not behaving on me. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now. He says, continuing to touch it. Yeah, that's cool. One hand black, one hand white. We'll see how that goes. We might change it later, but it's fun to experiment. So now we're going to throw down our wet layers. So the first one to go down probably can be Apothecary White. No, that white prime is still drying. So what we'll do is we'll move on to just establishing the prime on our blue, our big blue layer. So we're going to grab Ultramarine's Contrast. Glenn Corbet says, morning Mr. Zorp, so working every Monday is so overrated. I miss having Monday as my RDO and watching all the streams. We miss you too, man. Are you doing like a little sneaky check-in whilst on work today then? So we're going to establish a base coat with this contrast. And this is just for our the background of our banner. Now it's going over metallic, which I'm not sure is going to work all that well. Because we're still going to get a bit of that sheen coming through just because that's what it was primed in. So we're probably going to end up rebasing like a lot of this. But I'm just... my normal go-to blue method is to use this as a base. Because it just creates a nice kind of variable tone. I'm not going to worry about the Blue Eagle right now. That's just going to have to get reprimed. So we'll see how that blue looks as it dries. I've got to do the other side as well. It's very flat. Kind of clothy folds. All the way around. I'm sort of keeping it off the edges. But like I said, they're lead belch. They're going to have to be rebased anyway, so... We'll see if that can get us any margin. And if it just looks streaky and terrible, that's fine. We'll just rebase it. Just trying to see if I can get a sneaky little win there with a bit of a blue base to establish our color profile before I bring in the real colors that we want that to be. It's much darker as well than a Dol Amroth blue. So it probably won't work well there, but it might give us a little bit on Imrahil's shield. Again, not worrying remotely about protecting the white. I feel like on the shield it works quite well, because the shield is a metal item. So the metallic luster underneath the paint actually works fantastically. Yeah, dude, looks fantastic on the shield. So there we go, a little win, we got one of them. And then we'll work into that with some highlights and things and get it up to that nice enchanted blue look, which was always my favourite tone for the wonderful Dol Amroth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to try Apothecary White. And we're going to see what that does for us over these white layers. Roa says that he uses War Colors One Coat White. I have never heard of that white. Have to try it out. I've never even heard of that company, to be honest. War Colors. So we're putting this Apothecary White all over the white prime. Hoping beyond hope that it will give us some sort of nice mid-tone or recessed detail to work up from that will enable us to create a nice white. But I usually throw this pot in the bin. I think it's garbage. I'm going to give it another chance today. Going to do it on the white glove as well. This is a real test of it, you know, nice little contrasty area. This is where it should be excelling if it's capable. Alright, that white's down. Let's do the white on our little broskini. Lathering down that contrast. Oh, there were some areas that I should have reprimed that I did not. Bugger. I think I will have to reprime them. I don't think it'll work. A little bit onto the white glove. Oh, my back is murdering me today. Let's change this chair position. Alright. I'm back. Back was so sore we lost audio, says Dale. I don't know how that's happening. Not even touching that. Must be my dodgy cord, I reckon. I'll have to change that cord for next stream. I bet you I just got a bunch of new messages. Alright. Maito Colo says, good evening, I just tuned in because I was joining a Lord of the Rings marathon. Fantastic. Added some likes the music. Wonderful. I thought the chair literally murdered him for a moment, says Kenny. Alright, back we go, back we go. Sam Cynthia says, I usually hand paint a model in black because sprays are scary, then put one coat of each colour, then do a second one where I've gone wrong just to cover it in the related shade paints. Sprays are your friend, man. You gotta embrace it. Spray paints are fantastic. Sometimes they don't go right, but only if you do the, only if you do the right stuff. Like, you know, don't spray when it's nighttime, don't spray when it's cold, that kind of stuff. Humidity. But once you get your head around it, it's so good. Anyone have the Best of White Dwarf magazine? Says Mac Attack is wondering if it's worth it. I don't. I haven't read it yet, to be honest. They never sent it to me, so I cannot tell you if it's good or not. So thanks for that. The hardest part of me is painting the areas that are undefined. Totally, Luke. That's always challenging. It's always tricky. Like, what the hell is this kind of moments. Ollie says, if it isn't Lachlan, back at the painting. Welcome, dude. How you feeling? What's your video on now, by the way? How you going? I think mine hit 10k this morning, so I'm holding solid there. We've got, Kenny says, hashtag Zorpbay. I've started putting that in the tags, you know, Kenny. It will work eventually. Google's algorithm will work it. Hashtag posture tech for Ollie. Tristan says, good evening, guys. Sorry I'm late. Well, we'll forgive you this once, Tristan, but if it happens again, there'll be a reprimand. Ollie says, back attack. Lockie, oh, the Lord of the Rings 4K's not out till December 1. Oh, there you go. That's why it wasn't in the shop yesterday when I was looking for it. Yeah, obviously sometimes the weather in your area is a huge factor on whether or not you use spray paint that often. Obviously, it's like sunny all of the time here, so that's not a problem for me. Let's have a look at how these guys are going now. So, just going to put another thin coat down of white over that first bit of white scar. Try and get something salvageable out of that application. White. I'm just going to highlight the gloves a little bit, just because I've got the white in my hand. Yeah, look, I mean, the Apothecary white, it hasn't been terrible, I guess. We'll see. We'll see what happens once we've done a finished kind of highlight pass on all the white. I'm just having a little test here of like re-highlighting over the Apothecary white just really quickly to see if it gives me anything I'm even remotely interested in. Just with really thin white. Finding it really difficult with White Scar not to leave brush strokes. Anyway, it's getting there. It's getting there. Cool bananas. So, white. Oh, we haven't done the whites on the logos and shields and stuff, but we'll do that very last. So let's do some silver while all that white dries. Thanks for watching, Renga. We'll see you next time, dude. So, we've got our blue washed silver down. I'm tempted to go back to Stormhost Silver now. Let's see if we can get something kind of usable out of it. I'm going to drop a bit of it into my palette so I can hopefully sort of really beat the crap out of it to get some solid pigmentation. And then we're going to come in and we're going to try and edge highlight with it. And we're going to see how frustrated we get. So I'm doing a pretty broad edge highlight, to be fair. I'd say this is actually a layer highlight again, now that it's going down. Just because this silver is actually quite dark, now that it's been washed. So I'm enjoying kind of lifting it up a little bit, but I really don't want to push this into any recesses. I really want to save that blue. So flat midtones are getting a highlight. Edges are getting a highlight. Let's have a look here. We've got some beautiful crisp shoulder elements to kind of highlight there. I'll hit the metallics on the side there. Okay, Stormhost Silver's actually behaving today. I'm liking this. Hitting that middle flat region, hitting that middle flat region. Crisping the edges. I'll leave the blue a little bit on that shoulder pauldron there. Let's work on Imrahil's sword a bit. And brighten that up. I might still give the sword a bit of a null oil. Probably should have happened first, but anyway. Now I'm really liking where that armor's finishing, actually. Let's get into this underside and give that a subtle highlight. Yeah, the armor's got like a little bit of a blue sheen to it, but it's got some depth, it's got some kind of grime. Bit of shadow. Make it nice and bright right on the top. I'm very, very happy with that. If we compare the pair, see how Stormhost Silver has just lifted it that little bit, given it those shiny highlights back? I think that's a much nicer steel finish than I was expecting. Let's come in again. We'll start down on the boots. I'm actually, with this guy, going to try and do a little, like, less highlight. Make it more of a traditional edge highlight. And see what that looks like. Now, there are some regions where my white has spilled over my silver that I need to fix. So here, right in the middle of this torso, instead of doing a flat panel highlight, let's do edge highlights and see what the difference is. Where's the... that's all leather belts. All around the helmet. Oh yeah, there's just so much screaming for it. This is very cool. I fucking love Knights of Dol Amroth, man. So cool. Crisping up those edges. Just with a nice, bright little finish. This, I gotta say, the Stormhost Silver over the top of Canoptic Alloy just works really nicely. I think I found my new silver technique. It's Prime Lead Belcher, layer highlight Canoptic Alloy, and then, dude, I'd be tempted to use this even on armies that aren't Dol Amroth with that blue wash. But you could just easily trade in the same thing. Where's my Canoptic Alloy? Let's just quickly rebase that little bit of sword there. Just gone completely haywire. I might... Where was it? Was it Imrahil, I think? Or was it this guy? No, it was this guy. Let's just redo that section. It's funny, putting down the Canoptic Alloy now over these sections that are mistakes, and seeing how different pure Canoptic Alloy is compared to the washed Canoptic Alloy. That's the thing I noticed when I was doing my Necron scheme in the 24-hour video. Canoptic Alloy is just amazing at taking the hue of whatever you wash it with, even though it's got those reddy pigments. It just works perfectly. God, I'm so friggin' happy with this blue. Let's get a little bit more Stormhost Silver. I'll have to wash the brush out. Stephen Bonner says, am I looking forward to fiefdoms maybe expanding in a future supplement? Yeah, that'd be awesome, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. They've got a pretty complete range with lots of unit choices, and they're hardly like they're not even remotely a movie moment. I would think that the fiefdoms will be one of the very last to be expanded upon, based off their current decisions on what they're choosing. They've been doing movie stuff, or I guess theaters that are very specifically War of the Ring. They've done the Two Towers theater, and they've done the Gondor at War theater. I guess maybe we will then, if you think about that knowledge, because, you know, the fiefdoms getting attacked down in the south was very much a War of the Ring element, so maybe that means we could see it. I'd love it. I love fiefdoms. They're like my favorite army. I just don't play them for some reason. I say that about like all the armies though, that they're my favorite. But I genuinely love the pants off of fiefdoms. They were like my first love before I actually got into Rohan as a kid. Okay, let's finish off putting Apothecary down on those last little bits of white that I've just cleaned up. Before I did that pass, just so that that is drying. There we go, Apothecary down. Apothecary down. Cool. And I think that's the only place we need it. It is. Beautiful. So we'll let that apothecary white dry. I think a sensible thing to do would now to be keep working on the blue. So what I might do is I think I like having. Should we go blue or black scabbards? This scabbard here, guys, should we do that like the same blue as all the other blue to bring in more blue, or should we help accent our black detailing and make that black? Because we could do another little black detail. In fact, I'm thinking all the straps are going to be black. I don't want to bring in brown straps here. Oh, my battery's about to die. I'm going to swap that over. Uno momento, por favor. Someone says, oh, here we go. Alright. Up to the top, up to the top. Eat Imrahil. Apparently his edges are crisp, says Sam. There you go. I'll let you guys have a little look at this guy while I reply to the chat. If you want to focus, computer. There you go. Computer, camera, I mean. Top Table Gaming, Steve-O says, really need to finish my Dol Amroth, but painting that cav makes me cry. Yeah, I understand that pain, man. In fact, a good analogy for me would be you crying at painting cav is how I feel when I watch your videos on Top 5 Legendary Legions. I cry Evertim. Rubbish choices, Steve. You're dead to me. Fourth, Aeolingus! Alright, Rohirrim are some of the true heroes of Middle-earth, says Editum, couldn't agree. Scouring of the Shire was a small release book with minimal film time. That's very true, Stephen Bonner. That's an excellent counter. However, my counter to that would be, Jay is addicted to Scouring of the Shire, so don't take that into consideration, because it's like his personal crack. And they also needed a very small book to pop out of nowhere on a weird production timeline, which shouldn't happen again. Steve reckons I should make the scabbard blue, but we don't trust his judgment anymore after his last video. Sam Cynthia says we need a Khazad-dûm book for the original Kingdom, Balin's expedition, and finishing with Gandalf fighting the Balrog. You know I would love a Moria book. I love Moria so much. Love it so much. Steve says he's in the bath. I'm not sure how that's relevant. It's probably why he's got poor judgment or something. Sleep time. Call of Cthulhu says, thoughts on a Battle for Dale book? Yeah, I mean, I'd absolutely love to see that. The Battle for Dale is, like, probably one of my favourite elements of the War of the Ring, and I've been banging on about for years how I'd love them to do a supplement for that whole Northern Theatre of War, with, like, the Easterlings and Brand and Bard's grandson, and of course Dane, and you know, but their deaths and everything. It's such a cool theatre of war. I don't know how likely it is. I mean, it is part of War of the Ring, so just like we were saying, you know, we might see a fiefdomsy expansion of like the Corsairs attacking Dol Amroth. That's War of the Ring, and that's like the Northern Theatre of the War of the Ring. So if they stay in the War of the Ring pattern, maybe we will see that. That'd be awesome. But I guess I guess they are kind of out of movie moments now, so maybe they will start to go into that stuff. I really think Arnor and Angmar is likely. Maybe not next, but at some point. Yeah, I don't think we'll see Last Alliance anytime soon. Just because of Amazon, which I've talked about before. So now what I'm doing is I'm grabbing some Macragge Blue for our little Ultramarines-y stuff, our little Ultramarines-y stuff, our little blue banners, and then I'm going to grab, I think I'm actually going to mix this with white. I'm going to grab some of the white scarf from my palette, and I'm going to mix up some lighter blues. See if that works. Yeah, that works okay. Just mixed a sort of gradient in here. In my palette now of just like a whole bunch of different blues, really. I'm going to grab basically pure Macragge blue and put that down almost everywhere. Oh, it's quite a light highlight already, actually, pure Macragge. That's because I've got too much water in my brush and it's going down way too thin. We need coverage for my base layer so that I can wet blend into it. That's a bit better. So the Macragge blue going down, a real layer highlight here. We're putting it down over quite a lot. What should I wash the blue with, guys? Probably Nuln Oil, hey? Probably Nuln Oil. So that blue's gone down. Now I'll move into like a lighter blue and I'll come in and I'll hit some edges. Whoa, that's extremely light up, but that's okay. Contrast is good. I'm kind of like panel lining now around the shield. Just getting a few little accents. Just trying to almost paint in some texture, some lines in different spots, just to help that detail read. Oh, that looks so good. And then I'll just go into this really light blue, and I'll just create like the tiniest little highlight down the edges. Probably a bit too much. I might just soften that up a little bit. Yeah, it's too bright. Need a little bit more dark blue there. That's better. Just some really subtle panel highlights. There we go. That blue's looking fantastic. Now we've got to do it on a massive banner though, and this is the hard bit. So I'm going to return to full strength Macragge blue, and we're pretty much going to apply this everywhere. That is so not Macragge blue, but I need to clean out my brush. Might go from the pot here. This is like some of my favorite stuff with painting, is just like blending crap and... Oh, it basically is Macragge blue. It's quite bright when it goes down. Just making cool colors in the wet palette and doing little blends and things. It's very fun. Some of that moisture out of the brush. Again, we're not worrying about the white. I'm just focusing now on getting decent coverage on the blue. If I can nail that, I can spend a bit of time cleaning up the white really easily. Yeah, I'm not super loving this blue on the banner. It's not. I don't have the old blue colors that I want, right? I don't have Regal blue highlighted with Enchanted blue, which is what I want. So I'm sort of just trying to make them and find my way back to them somehow. So I'm going for a really broad... I'm basically rebasing this, but the base coat's fairly thin, so some of that contrastiness will be showing through. But it's pretty hard to do this without getting brush strokes, I gotta say. Oh, there's a bit of opacity. Alright, that's about where we want to be. Now what I'm going to do is grab a lighter blue, and it's all still wet. I'm just going to start to find some obvious folds and work in. That's way too light. And work in some highlights. this banner's a bit of a bitch, I'm not gonna lie. It's doesn't have like really obvious kind of defined fabric flaps to really go to town on. I'm just kind of edging it at the moment. Anywhere I can find like a little raised detail is just getting a bit of a highlight. Even the actual edges where it butts up against the white, I'm kind of just light lining it with this highlight to try and give me something to work from. Probably need a little bit of lighter color in there. This is where we go bold. I'm putting some highlights into flat regions. We're gonna have to see how this goes when it dries. Big flat metal banners are not the easiest for me. But we'll see what we can do. Oh, my phone has flipped down. It's not a good start. What is happening here, phone? I can't see my chat. How do I know if my audio is working? It is? That's good. Come back, live stream chat. There you go. KS says, I miss Midnight Regal and Enchanted Blue. Yeah, me too, dude. Oh, those were the blues, man. Here we go. There's a little bit of a fabric fold here I can hit that I haven't. Just trying to get that to read. Probably a little too strongly now, but anyway. I'm keeping my brush working in one direction. Not because that's like a good, well-known technique or anything, but just that's what I'm fucking doing, so I thought I'd tell you about it. I've essentially achieved the... I'm kind of lightening the entire banner now. Not really getting much in the way of a smooth blend. Let's get a bit of actual blue, the darker blue. And see if I can blend a bit of this back. Make some of these blends a little nicer. Try and give it a little bit of something. So I'm working into the recesses now with the darker blue. Quote-unquote recesses. Just to try and, I don't know, even out some of it. Yeah, it's just these tones of blue. I'm not digging them. They're just not my beautiful enchanted blue. They're kind of too grey. When I lighten it with white, it just gets bluer. It just gets greyer. Anyway, blending that back in has hidden a bit of the brushstroke work and given a nice kind of subtlety to the colour. So there's a little bit of colour variation there. It's not massive though. Just want to do one little highlight line on this very sort of sharpest fold. And then we'll do just a couple of little really crisp highlight lines around these very obvious and detailed fabric folds here. Sometimes when stuff is looking bad, just like keep working on it, just keep doing stuff. Blending, pulling back, highlighting something, and eventually you'll find something that doesn't look terrible. Like, I thought this was looking crap, and now it's pretty fine. Yeah, it's quite good, actually. Sort of out of nowhere. Now, Steve-O was banging on about blue. Who wants... Give me a vote for scabbard color, guys. Because I'm really vibing black. Calidor Sky is the newest equivalent to Enchanted Blue. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll have to give that guy a crack. I'm just going to grab my my white again, and we're going to base coat these highlights. Which could be a bold and foolish decision, but we're going to do it. Alright, number one rule is getting a smooth coverage with this white. Number 2 rule, and probably number 0 rule in terms of order, is not getting it on the friggin' blue. Alrighty, Rude. It'd be fun to do, I don't know if any of you guys watched the 24-hour video that Ollie and I did from Broadsword with my my Necrons and Ollie's Space Marine, singular. But it'd be pretty fun to do like one of those 24-hour formats for Middle-earth, I reckon. I reckon I could crunch that pretty well. Dol Amroth would be an alright army to do for it too. And I need to do some Dol Amroth for Minas Tirith, so, like, you know, I could make that work that way. I don't know, would that be something that anyone in the Middle-earth scene would be interested in watching, the 24-hour format for a Middle-earth model? Did anyone watch the Necron one or enjoy it? It's good fun filming that one. Alright, there's a little bit of white detail there. Oh, Imrahil's sword is like super bent. Whoa, that didn't help at all. It's like bent at the hilt, not the blade. Well, looks like that's the way it's going. There we go, that looks a little better. And now we want to do the big old swan. We'll do the one on the back first. Keeping it off the blue. Oh god, this paint's disgusting. I'll have to do some like thin coats or something. Gotta find a better white than this. Highlighting our little swan here. Around onto the head. Gotta make these swans look mint. That's what it's all about. They are the Swan Knights. Alright, let me jump into the chat and see if you guys replied to my scabbard question so I can think about that. Isengard Horde would be easy-ish, says James. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that would be a good one to do. The night shift seems difficult, says Edit. Yeah, for sure. Got a live stream, but I don't know if I could live stream for 24 hours. Most of the 24 hours is just like Ollie and I swearing at each other in exhaustion while we watch South Park. So it probably not conducive to a 24-hour format. I should make Ollie do it too. He plays a bit of Lord of the Rings. Been meaning to get back into it. That's one way to make a video that won't get any views, Ollie. Niche Middle-earth painting video. All your 40k viewers will be like, what? What is this? Alright, let's keep layering up that white. But I reckon it would be fun. At some point, I would like to do like a 24-hour live stream on the channel. It's just, I mean, never straight. It's not really feasible for me. But it would be interesting. Some sort of special event could work well for. Let's get a little bit more white out of this pot. This white scar, it's not too bad, I guess. Might just need an agitator. It's pretty messed up in the pot there. Layering. It's just like just trying to get it down without any texture is the thing I'm having real trouble with. It's so gritty and texture-y. Oh, that's right. All these bloody edges are white as well. Yeah, that's right. Some of the first streams, the early streams, used to be like hours and hours long. When I was mad enough to attempt to make terrain, paint miniatures, and play a game all in the one stream. That disappeared fairly quickly. Cleaning up some excellent white errors I've made. Alright, so that's a boat. Might be able to help it out with some washes in a little bit. These guys are really getting there. It's starting to come together now. Just gonna shake the crap out of this wine for a second, guys. God damn. Yeah, they're cool banners, Aaron. I love me some Dol Amroth. They look very, very cool. Oh yeah, that actually is working. It is getting shaken up. I'm just going to give this a really good shake. I can show you some of the... Oh yes, there we go. Probably should have done that at the start. It's still pretty feral, but... It could just be that this paint's pretty old. At least I'm getting some coverage now. Alright. Let's get this down on all these edges. So I don't think this... Oh, oh, yuck. This model's not still in production, is it? No, because the Forge World one would have replaced this. I probably will get some of the Forge World models at some point. I don't like the headless look, like, at all. Like, you're in battle. Fucking put your helmet on, bro. Safety first. So, but I think you get enough heads for them to all be helmeted if you wish. But yeah, the whole, like, sergeants with their helmets off thing, like, that 40k does, it drives me insane. Drives me insane. It's like, bro, you're gonna get shot. Put your helmet back on. But sometimes you want to see some character in those heroes. I mean, it happens in movies all the time, because of course, you're paying so much money for a lead actor, you want to see their face, and the audience has that expectation as well. It always drives me mental. It's cool about the Mandalorian, I guess. One of the little buffs there is the whole doesn't take his helmet off thing. They've made it into a thing so that they can justify it. Alright, getting the trim all around the edges of this banner. Trying my darndest to keep it off the blue that we've painted. So what are we going to do after this? We're going to do the details, which I think I'm going to do in black. It's black or blue, that's the options. And then we need to do some skin tones, and then we're basically done after this white detail. And we'll have 2 little Knights of Dol Amroth. The Bannerman is mine, you guys aren't getting him. But Imrahil is going up for it. Really nice to finally paint this dude. I've had him sitting in my backlog for so long. And it's sort of inspired. So just doing the whites now. After this white detail, we've got the faces to do and the like black detail to do, basically. And then these guys are pretty much finished. Maybe a few little targeted null oil washes and things to enhance some shadows. But we're very much getting close with these guys, which is very cool. I could also do like a little bit more work to the white, like, you know, I've got white on my brush right now, so I'm sort of, you know, looking at it and being like, oh yeah, I could work in a little highlight here and a little highlight there. Just to make those whites have a little bit more definition. Oh man, it's impossible. You clean up the blue to fix your errors on the white, and you put blue on the white, and then you go to clean up the blue on the white, and you put white on the blue, and it's just like a vicious cycle. Alrighty-roo. Let's, this swan is definitely the toughest bit. He's nestled in behind this helmet quite savagely. I just need to get most of him, really. It's not a huge deal if there's bits back there that aren't white, if they can't be seen. All the way around the head on the swan. Yeah, I was just saying that it's painting this guy up, finally. This guy's been in my backlog for so long. I'm so excited to finally get him done. It does inspire me to get my Dol Amroth force together. And they are quite good on the table. But that's the thing that's nice about Middle-earth, is basically everything's pretty balanced. There's only a few lists that are like really kind of top tier above the rest. You know, Angmar, Riders of Theoden, Corsairs for sure. There's a couple of really top tier lists. Riv Knights in the hands of a right player. Even so, they've got a really high skill level, so it kind of balances out pretty evenly with them. It's definitely a lot more balanced than it was in the Hobbit edition, for sure. It's really fantastic now. Which is great. It means that you can sort of take whatever army you want to, and you'll still have a great chance of having a good time. Especially with, like, that's the great thing about this whole system, is that the reliance on player skill is so much greater than your ability to A, build a list, and B, what models you're taking. It's really nice. Lovely system for that. So I think that's enough of our swan detail done. That's going to need a wash. Let's, while I've got white on my brush, let's do any highlights that we want to do. Just to kind of crisp up any edges of this white. I haven't even looked at Imrahil's white. Let's start there. give them a few little highlights here and there, just to pick out those edges. Give us a nice starting point. Imrahil does have some great cloak folds, which are very easily highlightable, which is nice. So yeah, his white cloth is looking okay. I mean, we could do like a recess wash or something, but it's looking pretty fine. Yeah, I think it's wash time. I'm just gonna grab the tip of this brush with just the tiniest bit of blue. So I've just noticed a little spot in here underneath the banner where a little blue is needed. So we're going to have to put a wash on that white, but let's not do that yet because we want that to dry. Let's grab Nuln Oil actually and wash the sword and do some targeted metal washes. Let's see if I can fix this audio thing. Boom. Alright, I think I fixed that audio. That shouldn't happen anymore. Alright, let's grab a bit of the Null. Get my chat window back open. Alright. What is happening here? Let's go up, let's go up. Lockie, you never mentioned who did those awesome Marsh Specter conversions on the cover photo. That was me. They're my Marsh Specters. I don't know where they are, actually. I need to dig them out for the battle report. They're in a box over there on the shelf. Yeah, they're my dead Marsh Specters that I made when I first got back into playing in the tournament scene. Was in the Hobbit edition. I didn't realize anyone was still playing the game. And so I found myself going to a tournament on very little notice after I'd posted up the Osgiliath video. And I needed to take some models on a list. I needed models, and so I could only take what I had painted, which was Mordor Trolls, a Ring Wraith on Fell Beast, and the Mouth of Sauron, and then I just needed something that would work well with them to kind of mess with people, so I just quickly converted up some Spectres. I'm just darkening up the chainmail with a bit of Nuln Oil here, just to add a little bit of extra recess detail and contrast to those regions of the scheme. And then I think we'll basically call the medals done there, particularly that bit of chainmail there. It's not really reading particularly well. We'll just darken it all up. Where's the shield? I'm assuming as the shield should be dry, we can use the shield as our little test ground for how that's gonna take to Nuln Oil. Looks pretty good. It's pretty good. I like definition. We do. Just gonna Nuln Oil the glove as well, just to give it even a bit more smoothing and refinement. Oh, I need to do this sword as well. Whoops. Stop going landscape on me, phone. I'm trying to read the chat while I paint. Back up to the top, please. A bit more there, a bit more there. It's looking pretty good. I thought about it, but I'm thinking against it. Alright. That is looking swish. That banner looks pretty dry, actually. Let's just throw down some Nuln Oil and see what we think. Hopefully gives the blue a little bit more definition. Gives everything a nice sort of toning and aligning. See, I'm just null. I don't know. This is like hashtag lazy man's white, right? Just Nuln Oiling it all. But we can go back and re-highlight if we need to. Very, very lazy man's white, but I think it looks fine in this context. In and around the boat. All over the swan. I just want to soak up all the excesses here. So we'll just go head on down to the base there. There we go. That helps smooth it all out and gives us a little bit more definition. Cool. I think we got to do detail. So, I like the idea of black strappings. I think that looks really cool with the black glove, and I'm keen to accent that a little more. But it might be nice to have one more pop of blue. So, I think Steve-O's right. Our big mate Steve-O, he can judge what color to paint a scabbard. He just can't judge what's a good legendary legion. That's it. Let's get some Ultra Reeds blue. And we're gonna pop that on the scabbard. Oh, that's so funny. As you can see, the paint going down on this scabbard here, the way that it highlights over the white, it makes it really obvious that Rise of Theoden is one of the best legendary legions. It's amazing. Yeah, look, just that paint there. It actually spells it out. Riders of Theoden is the best legendary legion. Amazing. Jeez, these contrast paints are incredible. So many people in the chat are probably so fucking confused. That's okay. I'm gonna leave you confused and offer no explanation. So that blue looks awesome. I think that's an extra sexy little pop on the blue, on the white especially. So that looks great. Now let's grab ourselves. Oh yeah, don't get me. I'm not judging his pick for first. Rangers of Faramir are savage for sure. I don't know if they're top, but they're still good. I think Riders of Theoden are better than Rangers of Ithilien personally. My problem is less that Rangers of Ithilien are that good. It's just that they're excruciatingly boring to play and play against. They suffer hard from really bad matchups, so I think that takes them away from being truly competitive, because there'll be scenarios where the objective and the opponent just suits you so poorly, and that can happen with Riders of Theoden, but it's a pretty powerful and versatile list. It's pretty good at dealing with a lot of situations, so I think that's why it really takes it up and above. But don't get me wrong, Rangers of Ithilien is so nuts. With the addition of those extra two heroes, taking them up to 600 points of pure Rangers, like it's a real problem. Not a fan of it at all. But I've rambled on about that a lot. Don't need to make every stream about me bitching about Rangers of Ithilien. Really happy with this black going down. Really happy with that combination of blue. I think that's actually more strapping there up over the waist. Is that strap? Yeah, I think that's strap. So we'll make that black Templar as well. It just adds, like, picking out all these little straps and things, just adds that extra little pop of detail that makes stuff really sing. I think Steve's point is after Gamling's nerf that Rise of Theoden isn't as high up on his list. I haven't actually played a match since Gamling got nerfed with my Rise of Theoden. Haven't got around to it yet. So it'll be interesting to have a play with how that's changed everything. So that's the black straps done on that guy. I actually think we need to do the flagpole and the flesh, and then we're pretty close. Let's see how I feel about Black Templar flagpole. The only thing that's making me not want to do it is that the gloves are black. Otherwise it would have been my choice. But yes, you're spot on. The Ranger spam is serious. But yes, I'm very keen to see how my Riders of Theoden still fare after the Gamling nerf. It's still my favourite list from a thematic point of view. The Knights of Theoden's household charging across the Pelennor towards Suladen. It's awesome. Awesome stuff. Alrighty, Roo. Maybe a little bit of black on the hilt as well, just to separate that. Yep. Man, this guy's looking cool! So he just needs flesh. I'm calling him done. Let's grab Imrahil. And we'll grab a little bit more of our... Grab a little bit more... Sam says the fortnightly rant about Rangers of Ithilien. KS says, I'm actually happy about the gambling nerf. It's more fun to play if opponents aren't complaining the rules are too good. James says, it's frustrating not getting 11 free points of might per turn. If you were only getting 11 free points of might per game, you weren't playing them right, Jimmy. I think my record for the most amount of might I spent in a game, including my starting count, was 55 at 1,000 points and 46 in 800, which is a considerable amount of might spent. A considerable amount of might. That was also including the free might I got from death, though, for clarity. So yeah, it was a serious might-making machine. I don't mind it being changed. I think it's probably been nerfed a bit too hard. I think it's gone a bit the other way, but it's still fine. It's still a great unit that I'll still take, for sure. Yeah, Banner always pays for itself. It's an auto-take, man. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Even one free point of might per turn is still... It's still... When you look at an individual point's cost, then yeah, it's about context of the army, though. Alright. Just grabbing some Kygor Brown for Imrahil's hair. We've got a bit of a light base there, so I think this will be a good little tone. Yeah, I think that was Andrew Coleman, wasn't it, Spike? Who was playing down at a Melbourne tournament, who was recording his... Or it might have been David, actually, who was recording the might. Yeah, like, the whole list was built around generating might. So, that's sort of the point of it, you know, running as many heroes as possible to get back as much might as possible. That was the whole function of the list. So it may change my list building a little, maybe. I mean, I'm certainly not going to drop Gambling, but maybe I'll go for more Royal Guard now, but I probably won't, because I just prefer the play style of like as many heroes as possible in the list. I really love it. It's really fun and satisfying, and it feels like the Knights of Theoden's household, which is... I built that list, you know, on theme originally, and then that Legion came out, and I was like, oh cool, this is what I've been painting for the last 2 years. I'll start taking that to tournaments, and then it dominated. I was like, oh, great. The list that I've been building for 2 years, which was crap, absolutely crap before the new edition, is now, like, top 2. That's convenient. So a bit of Kygor Brown down on Imrahil's hair. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that looks good. Have I missed a bit of hair there? Is that hair? I think that's hair. There we go. Looking good. Now we'll just grab some, yeah, David. That's right. Yeah, I remember talking to Jeremy about it. He was like intentionally spending as much might as possible to make a point. But like I used to do that as well, like just to try and break my own records, spend might where I didn't even need to when the game was already won, just to try and up that count. So I'm being bold here, and I'm applying Kislev Flesh straight over the Leadbelcher Prime. We'll see how that looks. I might need to prime twice, or base coat twice. That may not work. There we go, bit of flesh tone. I don't know why people hate on this sculpt. Oh, I don't think they hate on this sculpt. I think they hate on the cavalry one, which is pretty horrendous, yeah. I will agree, but I quite like the foot sculpt. Getting a bit of Kislev flesh into the helmet well. Oh, that chainmail goes all the way up his neck. Okay. My god, these guys are looking so cool. I love Dol Amroth. Oh, man. Look at them. Oh, you're friggin' kidding me. Guys, can you, like... Can you yell at me when I'm not painting on camera, please? I feel really shite when I've had my hands in the wrong place for like 10 minutes. There we go. Look at these two guys. They are coming along so nicely. I love Dol Amroth so much. I'll just chuck another coat down of Kislev. Oh, you know what? I don't think I need to. That's dried nice and opaque. Alright, let's grab some flesh tone. I will mix up a little highlight. Found it. Oh, I need bone white as well for my elf flesh mix. Bone white, there it is. So we'll get a bit of the Reikland flesh shade and throw that into our faces. This is like just my level of flesh. A little bit of face poking through an armor plate. This is what I can be asked with. I like this. Get a bit of Reikland and just push that in and around Imrahil's face. Just to get a bit of life and colour in there. Look at that. A thing of beauty. A thing of beauty. And same with our Dol Amroth Bannerman. Just a bit of Reikland into the recesses. Just to amp up that skin definition. Honestly, man, for a table-ready scheme, I would be happy just leaving that. Faces have got so much definition. So we'll just wait for that to dry, and then we'll put down our highlight. I'll come back to the chat while we do. I love every time I'm on stream and I open up my Facebook Messenger and it's always like 30 messages from people screaming at me that I've lost audio or the camera's gone. Had my hands in the wrong place for like 15 minutes. I could make a book of Lockie quotes, call it the Gospel of Zorpazorp. Indeed you could. Indeed you could, Sam. James says, did you find it was the Dernhelm combo that broke it the most? They could have made an extra point of saying Merry or Eowyn got the point. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, the Dernhelm double tap was great, but it was just, like, all you're really doing then is stopping 1 point of might per turn, and I think that, like, you know, on average, every turn I was getting... Depending on which flank I ran gambling on with my pincer, which is usually how I run them, and it's not often that I run like a single strike burnout up the middle with ranges of Rise of Theoden. So usually I'd have Gamling, Elfhelm, Dernhelm together operating as a hit squad, so that's 4 points of might per turn, and then they're usually cutting their way through to Theoden and Éomer and Daewine, who are on the other side, and then so late game they'll start getting might back as well. So usually on average it's like 4 might of point per turn, 4 points of might per turn rather. Yeah. KS says, I hope I feel the same way about the Lurtz Legion. Had played the Scout Army with minimal success, so maybe the Legion will bring them up a notch. Well, yeah, it'll give you higher movement, but Ugluk Scouts are still superior, unfortunately. But I do like the Lurtz Legion. I just wish that there was maybe one level of extra bit of themey coolness for it. Honestly, it's still a super cool Legion. It's just that I look at the Ugluk Legion with animosity, and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome! Whereas all Lurtzy Boy gets to do is the little challenge gimmick and throw his shield once, which will hit half of your game. So I would have wished if that was auto hit, would have been cool. Yeah, cool. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Yeah, it's a lot of might. It was a lot of might. Marcel wants you to do it, Sam. All right, so these guys are looking absolutely tight. I'm not even going to touch that guy. I'm happy with him. Imrahil's flesh just needs a little bit more love. So what I'm going to do is mix up a flesh base. Just going to throw in some bone white and mix that into my Kislev flesh. Just a little 50-50 ratio. Just to make a little elf flesh color. And we're just going to come in and just do some subtle highlights. The nose, a few little brow lines, the cheekbones, the jawline. Nothing too extreme, but just a little bit of highlight work. Just to make everything read with a little bit more definition. Does he have any ears I need to get? No, he doesn't. Boom! There we go. Imrahil is finito. Very happy with that. Potentially we could do like a little bit of gold detailing on him, but I really like him all silver. I can't remember if Imrahil has any gold on him. So let's have a look at our two boys. Our Dol Amroth lads ready to take the fight to Angmar for some reason, which is what's happening today. So, two Dol Amroth boys. I'm very, very happy with that. That's going to give us a count of 10 models. I think we'll play with Imrahil as well, or maybe we'll use the model as a captain. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swing the camera around and show you guys our beautiful little Ruins of Arnor board that we're going to be playing on today. Take you through the Barrow-wights, the Specters, all the spooky goodness, and the mental scenario that is going to be today's battle report. So, I will see you guys in just a couple of minutes once I have swung the camera to the other tripod. Back real soon. Alrighty-roo, we are back. Sorry for that little delay, guys. Just had to do a bit of rapid scenario building, and there was a little bit to set up. So, we have got quite a battle report today. So, as you guys may remember, this particular theme was chosen by you guys. It was a wonderful suggestion by Justin Tricker on our big poll that we did on the Facebook community page, and you guys voted for a theme of Rangers of the North fighting against Angmar. Now let me whip open my chat screen here so I can be in with you guys as we talk about this. So we have got we've developed that theme a little bit. As always, let me know if you guys can hear me well. As Larissa starts food processing a milkshake in the background. Let me know if the audio is coming through all nicely as I've changed over the cameras. So, I've adapted the theme a little bit to include our counterparts today that we've just painted up. So we're playing an old scenario, which is from the Angmar supplement that we went through at the beginning. In fact, what I'll do is I will throw that up on the screen for you guys now, so that you can have a little look-see at it. So this is the scenario that we are playing. It is called the Rise of Angmar. The original theme was that basically it was a big old slash fest between the Arnorians and the rise of the Witch King. The Witch King's forces trying to tempt the borders. But we've moved the scenario forward in time, and now a Dol Amroth little vanguard, a little diplomatic emissary has been sent. Imrahil has come north to try and reconnect ties with the Númenórean bloodlines and see what remains of Arnor, and he has found the ruins of Fornost, which are just a mess, and then been engulfed by an attack of evil spookiness, which is going to use all of the amazing retro Arnor profiles mixed in with some more common ones as well, and they may be saved. His beautiful saviors over here will be the Rangers of the North, led by Halbarad. We've got 7 Rangers of the North and Halbarad. Or I suppose they'll be Dunedain. We'll make them Dunedain because, you know, they look all Dunedain-y. And they've got to try and save the day. So essentially, the scenario objectives are to reduce the opponent to 25%. So the first person to quarter the opponent will be victorious. And if it happens in the same turn, it is a victory. However, if Imrahil is killed, it is an automatic victory for evil. Now, let's have a little look at our scenario participants up here on the ring, the central ring up here on the top of the hill. We have Imrahil himself, a Dol Amroth bannerman, 4 Dol Amroth warriors, and then we've got 4 warriors of Minas Tirith with a Minas Tirith bannerman and 4 Dol Amroth men-at-arms, and there's also a couple of Minas Tirith bowmen up here for a little bit of shooty power. This is the little force of combined fiefdoms presence that has been sent north. Then over here, down on the southern side, which you guys can see, we've got Halbarad with the banner leading 7 Dunedain there with bows and spears. And then we get to the evil side. We have 1, 2, 3 Revenants, which are the old school profile, and I'll go through those again. We've got the leader of their force, which is a big old classic Barrow White, and then we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 Specters. So let's have a look at these profiles. So the Revenants are our second in command of the evil force, and they're pretty spicy. I'm going to bring the mic over here so you guys can keep hearing me. They are, as Lockie fast forwards to them, Revenant. They are Fight 3, Strength 4, Defense 8. 1 attack, 1 wound. So even though the 1 wound, they are Defense 8 though, and they have 2 points of Fate and 3 Will. They cause terror. The whole army causes terror for the evil side. But anyone within 3 inches when trying to make a charge has to roll 2 dice and take the lowest. They wound against Courage, and most importantly, anytime they kill an enemy model, it is replaced with a Specter. Now, what is a Specter, I hear you ask? A Specter is an evil warrior. Let me put up the Specter page for you so you guys can have a look as well. Specters are on that page. The Specters are Fight 2, Strength 2, Defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 2, but they cause terror and they wound against Courage as well. So they are some beautiful little ghosties. that are going to do a fair bit of damage, I would say, wounding against the Courage. These are all Courage 3 Gondorian forces, so that is going to be 5s to wound. Maybe Courage 4 for the Knights of Dol Amroth, but it's still going to be 5s. Might get my fiefdoms book open. So they're going to. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight for these guys. If anyone wants to be in charge of controlling anyone wants to be on Team Rangers or that was a new fade. Didn't mention that. If anyone wants to be on Team Dunedain or Team Dol Amroth, Imrahil, yell out in the chat, and you guys can let me know some tactics. You can take control of the players. Let's have a look through our classic Imrahil. Oh my goodness, Imrahil is a 12-inch banner, so basically it's going to be banners for days. We've got his Fight 6, Strength 4, Defense 7, 333. So even on Imrahil, the Specters with their Strength of 2 are going to be wounding on 6s with his big Courage of 6. So that's going to help Imrahil out. We've got the Warriors of Dol Amroth. They are Courage 4, but that's still 5s to wound. And then they've got that Fight 4, still only that Strength 3 though, so they're going to be needing 5s to wound the guys back. Same with our Men-at-Arms of Dol Amroth, and then we've just got some classic Gondor warriors, so some good stuff there, And then we've got our Rangers. Now the Rangers are going to be key. They're Strength 4, that's going to be wounding on 4s against the D4 models, and obviously they've got Courage 4 as well, so they're still getting wounded on 5s, they're still pretty easy to kill, and there are a lot of Specters. Let's start getting some dice out and let's start getting ready. Let's have a look at who wants to be who in the chat. Jazzy Payne is keen to be on board Team Dol Amroth. We've got lots of people getting involved today. There's still 90 of you guys watching this late into the evening all around the world, which is exciting stuff. Let's dive into priority. Remember, we're looking to quarter each other, and we've got to keep or kill the Prince Imrahil to keep himself in the game. We have got, it's a tie on first turn. That's an evil omen. And it's a 6. The forces of good have it. Alright, well, Jazzy, you're in charge of Dol Amroth for the time being. Obviously, you've got one kind of major potential move here, which could be to fall back and start to be defensive, or you can try and launch forward to cut your way closer to the Rangers who are coming over from that eastern board edge. I think... Let's have a look. I think the best thing to do for the time being is to keep lining up. Remember, there's Spectres coming all the way around here. So Imrahil's probably going to do a big move, falling all the way back. Get him into the back of the ranks, where he can hold up this doorway. Unfortunately, none of our big warriors can get there. None of our frontline guys. Oh, actually, we can send a warrior of Dol Amroth to head over there, but he's not going to get there just yet. And then we'll throw in. We'll start throwing around our spearmen. And then the rest of the guys, we're just going to start ranking up. Now, we've got the pikemen, right? We don't often have pikemen. This is good. So we can set up those 2 ranks. We're going to be able to make quite a formidable shield wall here, guys. Because, of course, we have the pikes, the spears, the model up front, and then pretty much every model in this army is going to be in range of a banner. So that is going to be like 4 attacks at Fight 4. That's going to really help kind of bolster the lines. We'll back these guys in. We've got another spearman there. We do have another spearman there. So we've managed to set up a pretty nice little fighting front. We need to back this guy away and get our banners inside though. Whoops, we'll just pretend I moved them first. So we've got our beautiful new bannerman. Let's have a look at how that looks. We've pulled back. We've got the defend the princess, Jazzy. We've got the full cohort of dudes here. They're just completely turtling. We'll run over to the other side. And whoever's on Team Rangers, are we going to be charging forward or half moving and trying to drop some shots in? Maybe sniping the Barrow White or the Revenants. Meanwhile, the Spectres are going to make some charges. We've got a gap here, so that Spectre's going to go in and take on Imrahil. That Spectre will be able to run in. There's obviously going to be some serious supporting power here, but we can fire them in. I can't remember what war gear the Spectres have, actually. Okay, so they have no true equipment, so there'll be no supporting. It's just about getting models in there. We'll put the Revenant in there. The Revenants don't have any special magical powers. They've just got their terror. So for the time being, it's just moving up the horde. We'll send some dudes around the back, because I think getting in and getting inside while we can is an absolute killer move. Let's get rid of this tape measure. It's going to drive me crazy. Ooh, we can make charges? No, not quite. Not quite. The Revenant's going in. Charging in 6 inches to the bottom of the stairs. In they come, up goes our Revenant. Oh, could be fun to play that as the 3 factions, actually. Now, we've got our Barrow Wight here. He's going to have a big spell, a big potential paralyze. I think we'll throw a single paralyze. He's got 5 points of will. But who do we throw it at? Do we want to save them to throw them at Imrahil? Probably. It's probably Imrahil who needs our paralyzers. Otherwise, we could try and paralyze some guys in the front line. Cut the head off the snake, snipe the leaders, says Chazzy. Alright, so we're going to half move. Half moving with our rangers. 3, 3, 3. They're all half moving. There's going to be a lot of shots firing up into that defense. Meanwhile, in the Barrow Wight's turn, before the shooting, he's got 1 spell to go off, and I believe it's range 12. So it's going to be... Oh, yes, it's just going to be in range of Imrahil. Well, we got to do it. Barrow Wight is going to use his first will to throw a big old spell at Imrahil. He needs a 4+ to paralyze him. He gets a 2, so that's a miss. Barrow Wight's down 1 will. 1 will for the Barrow Wight. Alright, so we go to range of shooting. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 normal rangers, and then Halberad all opening up with their bow. I think Halberad has a bow. Halberad's got a bow, doesn't he? Dunedain. Halberad. Yes, he has a bow. They all have bows. They're rangers. What am I talking about? Dropping some shots. They need 4s to hit because they've moved. Well, that's a good start. Hitting with the above average. Halberad misses though, so it's just our rangers of the north. We've got an in the way through the Specter in the front. We've got 2 of them getting through, 2 of them into the Specter. Defense 4, strength 2, they need 5s. And they kill their first victim. A Specter goes down, and now into the Barrow Wight. Defense 8, strength 2 bows, needing 6s by 4s or 5s. No 6s there. Ooh, let's burn a might point. We've got a 5. We're going to go strong. We've burnt a might point. And let's actually check the wound table now, because it is going to matter. There's my quick reference chart with an easy reach. So, they need 6s by 5s. So, because a might point has been spent, this will only be needing a 4 now. So on a 4+, we can get a sneaky wound on our Barrow Wight. Oh, it's a 1! It's a 1. No luck. Alright, that is 1 point of might spent by the Rangers. No luck, though. It was worth it, trying to get that Barrow Wight nice and early. Okay, let's move into priority, turn 2. And it's gone to the forces of good again. This probably works in our favour now. Oh, actually, we've got some combats. What am I talking about? Imrahil got charged, the Dol Amroth Knight got charged. Let's do that first. So, 1 Specter versus Imrahil. And Imrahil wins it, but only just. Oh, no, he doesn't! He's got his banner, though. And he gets it with the banner. Excellent work, Imrahil. So he is strength 4, their defense 4. He'll need 4s to wound. And he rinses the Spectre. Yeah, basically just giving free kills, probably, putting them in with Imrahil until he's paralysed. Alright, let's go for our... We've got 1 Spectre fighting a Knight of Dol Amroth who is supported by 2 pikemen. Jeez, these pikemen are going to be savage for the Spectres. And they get it. It goes to Dol Amroth on 5s. And they need 5s to wound. Down goes a Spectre. So, 3 Spectres dead in the first turn. Geez, they go down pretty easy. They really do. But if they win a fight, they're going to kill these Gondorians pretty quickly. So, priority went to the evil side. Or was it good? No, it was good. It went to good. So they're going to have another chance to shore up their lines. We can see a Knight of Dol Amroth charging out here, bravely tagging a Spectre and a Revenant. We'll throw a Dol Amroth Spearman on him. Imrahil is going to dart out boldly and get himself a tag there to hold that up. We're going to have to put the Dol Amroth Bannerman on the door, as we just don't have enough bodies. So he's going to be fighting in the doorway. Can you guys see that on the back there? There's our Dol Amroth Bannerman. We might zoom in a little bit now. You can still see our Rangers on the bottom of the screen there. How's that for... Might even open that up just a little bit. Alright, so what else can we do? We got to reform the line here, so I think we're just going to keep on backing in. Just make sure all our positioning is nice with our spearmen. We don't have to do too much moving. That's probably it. We're all in range of banners. Let them come. Let them come. Alright, we've got a big old movement over to here. Imrahil's found himself fighting too, but that's alright. This is our chance for our first kind of big victim here, I think. Let's put all our bags in. The Revenant's going in. We're going to charge this warrior of Dol Amroth here. We'll get another 2-on-1 fight. We just got to stack as many numbers as possible. I think... Yes, we can just get a 3-on-1. So we've got the Revenant and 2 Specters fighting a big chain of 2 supporting models there. Let's get our other Revenant. You know what? Let's go hard early. Let's get the Revenants on the front lines. See if they can get some kills. Because remember, if they get kills, they will turn into Specters, which is just absolutely nuts. So we'll just move up the full contingent of Specters. The Horde advances. There's a lot of these ghostly green models around. And then we have one important move, and that is the Barrow-wight. He is going to move 4 inches, putting himself in cover behind another guy, and throw another Paralyze on Imrahil, needing a 4. He misses again with a 3. That's 2 will points spent. Imrahil's doing lucky. Alright, the Rangers now have to move. Well, the Gondor's holding pretty well. I think let's go for another snipe. We've probably only got like one more shot with the Barrow-wight. He's gonna have 2 in the ways now, but if we can force it through with some might points, it'll be some damage. It will be some damage. Alrighty, Roo. Protect the prince, says Jazz. You can certainly see the ghosts. Yeah, do they show up nicely or do they blend in because they're green? Alright, let's have a look. Shooting phase, we've got no shots for evil. Good has a couple of shots now. We've got the 2 Gondorian archers firing down into the Barrow-wight. They need 4s. They get 1 hit, 1 miss in the way through the guy in front. It gets through and needing a 6x5. That's a miss. Alright, the Rangers opening up once again. 6 Rangers of the North, or Dunedain, and 1 Halberad. We'll colour the dice that has no might. That can be the orange dice. And, oh, wow, that's not a good outcome. Only 2 hits for the Rangers this turn, but it is Halberad this time. Do they get through the in the way of the stone? Halberad does. Does he get through the in the way of the Specter? He does not. Does he kill the Specter? He does not. Okay, no shooting success at all this turn. Let's go into combat. So, I think everyone's going to fight as normal. I don't think Imrahil should call. a. Oh, Jazzy wants us to start thinning out some of the ghosties now. So let's just start over here. We've got a Revenant, a Specter, and he's fighting a Knight of Dol Amroth who's supported by 1 man-at-arms. Spectre's a fight 2. So the Dol Amroth have the fight value there. Let me just check Revenants. Revenants are fight 3. So, not doing a whole lot. The fight value is with Dol Amroth. That's going to be huge. If we can kill some of those Dol Amroth models, that's going to be massive for the Spectre side. So, 1 attack for the Spectre, 1 attack for the Revenant, and 1 each for the Forces of Gondor. And, oh, Dol Amroth get it on the dice. And I think they'll strike on the Spectre, because they're going to need a lot to wound the Revenant. And a big 6, that kills the Spectre. Down he goes. Another Spectre down. Imrahil this time. He's going to be key to defeating these Revenants. He is fighting against 2. And he gets a big 6. The Spectres get double 6s. Insane. Not enough though. The Prince holds firm and he needs 4s. And he fails to wound any of them. But he is totally fine, which is what matters. Alright. Let's go along to the next fight. We have a Revenant, a Spectre, fighting 3 Dol Amroth. Here we go. And Dol Amroth get it on the 6. Geez, good at rolling hot dice at the moment. And they fail to wound, though. Not a single wound. So that's important. That's a good victory. Need to keep the Revenants intact. And now it is the same thing. No, it's a Revenant and 2 Specters fighting 3. Oh, the good are just hotting up these 6s. Once again, striking on the Specters. There we go. There is 2 wounds. 2 Specters down. And they are thinning those ranks, Jazzy. Thinning them good. Alright, I need to make sure you guys can still see the dice. Maybe I should get the dice box down and chuck it on the grass. Alright, we've got 1 fight left, and that is our Bannerman fighting 1 Spectre up the back. He is at -1, but of course with a banner reroll. Ooh, the Spectre gets a 6, which means he cannot do anything about it. The Spectre only needs a 5 to wound going against the Courage. He doesn't kill him, though. That would have been disastrous, losing the Bannerman. It was a risky play, using him defensively. He probably should have shielded, actually. Oh, he doesn't have one. Alright, let's jump into priority. And it goes to the Forces of Good, yet again on a 5. That is a massive roll. Just going to grab my roll box for you guys. It's going to be a little easy to see now we've gone in close. So up first we'll move the Rangers. Let's throw this one here. Up first we're going to move the Rangers. They're going to move... This shooting is not having a great effect. I think we may need to... Let's go one more round. No, let's get up there. Let's just get up there for now. 6 inches for the Rangers of the North. Or the Dunedain, I should say. No shooting from them this turn. And I think it's time for Imrahil to probably duck back into safety now. He made his bold... Oh, you know what? He can run around the back. He can run around the back. He's going to charge this guy. We've got a strong holding here. Let's cut our way through the back of these models. Bomb it in. Trap the Spectres. Yep, I like it. Let's be bold. Let's charge forth with Dol Amroth, and we'll create a bit of a new shield wall that's a little bit wider. We've got the Spectres coming. This pikeman's going to launch forward into him, because if they can get some serious like flash kills, we've got the fight value. Bannerman's going to charge. The Rangers are like just in reinforcements. If we can just hold a little longer and be really aggressive in the rear with Imrahil, we're not going to get in any trouble. So, I'm pulling away my 3 attacks, but I'm setting up with multiples. There we go. So the Spectres aren't going to be able to breach the walls now. So I think that'll work nicely, and then we can set up a bit of probably a bit of a heroic combat, I reckon, with Imrahil. Yeah, I think we can do something magical with Imrahil here to kind of help cut his way through. That should be good. That should be good. In that case, what we might do is throw a spearman in with Imrahil so that he can slingshot that model in. Alright, so that is the good movement. I think we'll throw a spear on the Bannerman this time, so that doesn't happen again. And this banner bearer is just going to stand nice and central. The Revenants are going to go in, so there's some options here. There's some windows for them. They've got a 2-on-1 here. They're not going to be able to get those guys around. Tell you what, the Barrowite's going to go in. Barrowite's going to go in. First thing he's going to do is throw a Paralyze on Imrahil. Now this would be disastrous because Imrahil's set up for a big heroic combat. On a 4+, the Barrowite's thing will go off. Oh, he gets a big 6! Oh, what have we done? We've broken the line. Okay, so Imrahil has to resist this, or it's bad. So I think Imrahil is going to throw all 3 will at it, needing a 6. He's got a 1, a 2, and a 4. So to resist it, he would have to spend 2 points of might to stop himself from being paralyzed. The thing is, he doesn't need Heroic Strike. And there's nothing else has a lower 5 value than him. And that will be the Barrowite's 3rd point of will. So I think I'm going to spend the might. So that is the Barrowite down to 2 will, Imrahil down to 1 might, and he is not paralyzed, because I think that's important. We've made a play here, we need the play to go off. Alright, so the Barrow Wight charges in, Specter charges in, and the Revenant charges in. These guys are just going to keep moving around. Unfortunately, because Dol Amroth have got the fight, they can't get through that window. So we've basically just got a lot of Spectres kind of milling about here, waiting to die. I guess the other thing they could do is start to set up a bit of a catch line to hold up these Rangers and buy the Spectres some time to cut through. So, let's go into the shooting phase. The only shots of these two Gondorians up the top here. They're hitting on 4s. Ooh, they're both hit. They'll need 5s to wound. Ooh, lovely work. Gondorians take out a Spectre, which is getting in the way of the Rangers' advance. Very nice there. Very nice. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Witch King of Angmar has joined us. Oh my goodness. The Big Barry White. Big Barry White, says Stephen Bonner. Okay, well at least he sapped a lot of resources. So it's combat phase. The first thing we're going to do is spend Imrahil's last point of might to call a heroic combat. For sure. Let's get this happening. Imrahil and his spearmen against one Spectre, and they get the 6. So they've got that combat. Imrahil only needs 4s to wound him. Oh my god. Imrahil just rolled 3, 1, 1, and the spearman rolled a 3. Oh dear. That's very unlikely, and he has no might points to do it. Actually, the model here is actually trapped again on this slope, so he will get to re-roll that. Jesus. On a 4+. Okay, there we go. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. Imagine if he hadn't been trapped, that would have been game over. So, Imrahil is going to fly in combat with this guy, and then this spearman is going to fly over here into a supporting position. And now we'll keep moving into the fight. So, Imrahil has now paired off... Oh, those two will fight together now, actually. So, let's stay over here. We've got a Revenant by himself fighting 2 Dol Amroth units. This could be a big kill for Dol Amroth if they can finish him off. Ooh! They've rolled 4s, and they have the fight value, so they need 2, I think, they'll need 6s. 6s by 5s with strength 3, 6s by 4s on defense 8. No 6s, the Revenant survives. We've got Imrahil and 1 warrior fighting a Spectre. Oh my god, Imrahil's choked again. This time he does lose. And the Spectre wins. Well, now the Spectre's got a choice. Does he go for a kill, threading the Dol Amroth numbers, or does he try and get a sneaky wound on Prince Imrahil? So he's strength 2, and he'll need 6s on either target, actually. Strength 2, defense 7, it'll be 6s by 4s. You know what? I think the Spectre's going to risk it for the biscuit and try and put a wound on Imrahil. He gets a 3, so it doesn't matter, and Imrahil's pushed back. That's huge, though. Alright, we've got a Knight of Dol Amroth shielding against 2 Spectres. He's got the fight value, the Knight, and it's a big 6, so he's fine. The Spectres just push away. We've got 2 Men-at-Arms fighting against, or a Men-at-Arms and a Spearman fighting against 1 Spectre. And the Men-at-Arms have got it. And they put the Spectre down. Jeez, Gondor is weathering this storm incredibly well. Incredibly well. Alright, Knight of Dol Amroth and a Spearman fighting a Revenant and a Spectre. Ooh, the Revenants have it this time. And they need... Oh, they got the banner. They got the banner. So up to a 5. Oh, the banner gets it. And they win it on fight value. And they will need 5s to kill the Spectre. And they get him. Spectre goes down. This is the big combat for the evil forces. They have a Revenant, a Barrow Wight, and a Spectre, all fighting 2 pesky Gondorian forces with a banner. They still don't have the fight value, though. Oh, they've got a 6. Gondor needs to banner up. And they don't. Here we go. First fight won by the evil side. So, let's have a look here. We've got the Spectres wounding against Courage, and the Revenant wounds against Courage. So, they're looking for 5s to wound. The Barrow Wight has strength 4, I believe, and I think he just wounds against defense, which is going to be 5s as well. I'll just check the Angmar section of the book. Angmar, where are the Barrow Wights? Barrow Wight. He's only got strength 3. Oh yeah, he does have Blades of the Dead though, so he is wounding against courage as well. So they're all wounding on courage. The Knight of Dol Amroth, importantly, has courage 4. So we're looking for 5s on any of these dice. And no, they're not trapped. They're just not trapped. So 3 dice here. The white dice is the Revenant. If he gets the kill, that model will become a Specter. Oh, big 6s! The Barrow White and the Specter do the work. Unfortunately, not the Revenant. So they do not turn into a Specter, but that is the first kill for the evil side, and it took them 10 dead Specters to make it happen. That is huge. Right over on the other side, we have the banner of Dol Amroth and a support of Men-at-Arms against 1 Specter. And the Specter's got it. They can banner up. They do banner up, but foolishly, I re-rolled the banner's dice, which was at -1. So that's actually... Oh, they win on 5 value anyway. They win on 5 value. They do not kill the Specter. Okay, this is getting nuts. It also occurred to me that last turn I forgot to take any courage tests for terror. So that's a thing. Alright, let's do priority and see how we go. It's a big 4, the good side of 1 again. Okay, we've lost a model now. And we nearly... Imrahil isn't the man he used to be. So I think what we're actually going to do is we're just going to pull back inside. Are we going to force them to come to us? Because it's getting a little dicey. It's getting a little dicey here. We're going to have to redistribute some dudes. We're going to have to send a spearman to the front line here and get him supported by a spearman there. We're going to pull back inside, put a Knight of Dol Amroth, put a Man-at-Arms of Dol Amroth rather in there. Then another Man-at-Arms of Dol Amroth there. And we're just closing ranks. We made our big play. We did some early flash damage. And now we have every archway blocked in. So let's zoom in so you guys can see a little better. In fact, what I might do is zoom in and lower the tripod a bit. So you guys have an even better angle. Might come around this side. Apologies guys while we do a little finagling. There we go, that's a little bit better for you guys, isn't it? So you guys remember that the Rangers are just off screen. I believe in you, I think you can remember that. Alright, so we have... Everyone has... do they get to defend the walls with being archways being in the way? No, so we'll say that the archways are too large, that they don't count as a doorway. Because they are a bit oversized. They're not like a classic doorway size. Otherwise it will just be impossible for the dead to cut through if they're getting a barrier as well. They're having enough trouble winning the fights as it is. So they've pulled back. The Rangers of the North, one of them is in range to charge. So sod it, we'll throw him in. In he goes. And then we'll throw a spearman on him as well. Oh, he'll have to take a courage test though. 6 plus 4. Yeah, there's no Harbinger. That's fine. He passes. And the rest of the Rangers are all just going to charge on up and get ready to make some charges next turn. And now it is Revenant time. So the Rangers are coming. We got to get some dudes in. We're going to throw a Revenant down here. We're going to just ignore Imrahil and throw another dude down there. Tell you what, let's see what happens with Imrahil first. Let's go for another Paralyze. Oh, big 1! Barrow White has 1 point of will left. He's failed to get in. He's going to charge. The Revenant's going to charge. There's going to be 2 fighting 2 there now. Yeah, so we'll just ignore Imrahil for the time being. All we can do is just set up a bunch of 2 models fighting. So we've got that. So let's make this Ranger pay. We'll pair off the Spearman. And then we'll get 3 on him. You never know, we might be able to chalk a Ranger of the North. Okay. Good shooting. They've got the 2 Gondorian Bowmen, but actually no targets. No, they've got some targets down there through the windows. They hit? Do they get it in the way? Yes, they both hit the windows. So no hits there. So what we want now is a big old combat phase. Imrahil's found himself out of combat, but he has no might anyway. Only3 says, sorry, what's the profile of a Revenant? So a Revenant is an old school Angmar profile. I'll throw it up on the screen for you now, Oni. Here's the, while I've got you, there's the profile of the Specters. They're just little crappy 5-point warriors that wound against courage. And then the profile of our Revenants is that one there. So they're like a mini Barrow White with no magic. They've got that 1 wound defense 8 profile from the old Barrow Whites. They've got 3 will, so they're good at resisting stuff and helping with courage checks. They wound against courage, and any models they kill get turned into one of the Specters. I'm going to use this opportunity to quickly change a battery on the camera while you guys have a little refresh on the Revenant profile. Alright, let's get back into it. We have been swamped, but they're just struggling to cut their way through. So, it is a big old mosh pit here in the middle. The good force is just that fight value of the Knights of Dol Amroth, but there is a big change here because one fight doesn't have that fight value. We're going to start over here. We've got the Revenant and a Specter. Let's see how they go. They're on 1s and 2s. The Knight of Dol Amroth gets a 5 and a 2, so they win that. Meanwhile, Helberad is falling over down the hill. They need 5s, and they kill the Specter again. Savage. I really need to start breaking up those wound rolls. I'm not expecting them both to get wounds. Alright, we've got another 2-on-2 here. 2 Specters fighting Dol Amroth. There we go. The Specters have got it. Oh, they've got a banner, though. The Dol Amroth has a banner. It's not enough. Here is a chance. 1, 5, and a Knight of Dol Amroth goes down. A 3 and a 2, if only we could add them together. No traps there. But importantly, they have pushed them back, which means if they win priority, you know, finally, for the first time, they'll be able to get their way into the circle. Now we've got a Specter and a Revenant fighting 3 Knight of Dol Amroth and supports. And they've got it on the 6. And they kill... Oh, I'm going to break the wounds up this time. On the Specter. Fails. On the Specter. Fails. On the Specter. Of course. Gotta remember to break my wounds up when I'm fighting against multi-wound models. Alright, this time we have a Barrow White and a Specter fighting 2 Warriors of Gondor at fight 3. Big chance here for evil. And the good side gets a 6. What a result. What a result. Where are those might points, evil? Now, they're going to need 6s by 4s to wound any of them, and that isn't going to do anything. So the Barrow White is fine. Now we've got the Bannerman and his support fighting against 2 Specters. The Bannerman banners down to a 5 with his -1, but he still wins it on fight value, and he will need 5s. No wounds there. Not a lot happening that turn in the main kind of mosh pit, but we do have some interesting stuff on the back here. We have 1 Ranger with a might point versus 1 Specter. The Ranger just wins on a 4, but fails to kill him. Specter will move down there. And now we have 3 Specters fighting the Ranger of the North without a might point. Oh, they only just win. He gets a 4. Oh, actually, he's in range of Helberad's banner. Helberad's banner is a 6-inch banner. He is going to get to re-roll it. And he rolls a 4. So that is... that's enough on... Actually, I re-rolled the wrong bloody dice. Doesn't matter. That's enough on fight value. So the Ranger of the North pushes them all back. And he now gets to make a single strike needing 4s. He fails to get the wound. So no losses there, but that's a shame. Jeez, the Angmar are having a tough time of this. Let's jump into priority. And the good side have won it again. Unbelievably. Unbelievably. Okay. No one is going to move. Except... on the Dol Amroth side, except for these guys in here. So this Knight of Dol Amroth, he's going to make a charge at Courage 4. And he rolls a 3 and a 1, so he fails. So that's critical, because that means now when the Spectres move, they're going to be able to move inside the circle and start to disrupt stuff. Knowing that, I think I'm going to have to send Imrahil to plug that gap. Now, he's not going to be able to get through on the inside, so he's going to go around on the outside. Courage check for Imrahil. He passes. Bold move with Imrahil, but at the end of the day, he's very tough. He's very tough. Alright, let's do... yeah, that's all the moves. We'll let them charge us now. The Rangers, though, they're going to jump up and they're just going to start swamping these guys. Helbarad will get in there. We'll throw a bunch of Specters with Helbarad. Set up a big heroic combat slingshot. Oh, they're all falling off down the hill. It's off camera. You guys can't even see it. Anyway, Helbarad's coming. He's made a charge. We'll pair up all of these Specters here. And... oh, this accursed metal banner. It's so gorgeous, but Helbarad just falls over all the time. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit so you guys can see down the bottom of the slope there. Can you see now? Yes, you can see now. Alright, beautiful. Okay, the rest of them are going to pile... my Specters are now going to pile in. So, what can I do here to make this useful? The first thing we've got to do is we've got to go for a big transfix... paralyze, rather, on Imrahil. Our last chance. He gets it! Imrahil is paralyzed, finally. He's got no will and no might. So Imrahil is now paralyzed, which in hindsight made sending him out there an insane move. I forgot the Barrow-wight had one will left. Okay. That's tricky. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Well, now that's going to change things. That's absolutely going to change things. The Barrow-wight is going to go in on Imrahil now and get that strength 3. The Revenant is going to go in on Imrahil. Oh man, this is going to be 5 models on Imrahil now. Now all everyone else has to do is just stop, you know, tie everyone else up. So, yeah, that was incredibly foolish in hindsight. I don't have a lot of Specters though, which is interesting. Because, you know, they've all been dying. I've got one that can leap around and tie up those guys. And then this Revenant, he's going to run in and run around and engage the Dol Amroth men of pikemen. So he's not fighting at the higher... yeah, so the Revenant has run in and hit the Dol Amroth men-at-arms, so he's not fighting at the fight value. We've got, Liam says the last paralyze that hit Imrahil was his last will. Yeah, so he's out of will now. He's out of will now. Because he's got 5. He's missed 3 times and hit twice now, finally. So let's go to combat, because evil have the good side have nothing to shoot at again. Oh, I've got some Specters here. Tell you what, I need to start firing these spare Specters around this side. So the good side will have a couple of shots with the Gondorian Bowmen. They hit on double 6s and wound on a 6. Down goes the Specter. I'm losing Specters fast. Let's do all the combats first. Helbarad's going to call a heroic combat down the hill. I think Helbarad's got 2 attacks. Yeah, he does. 2 attacks, and the Ranger of the North fighting a single Specter. The Rangers of the North have it. And they absolutely rinse him. Now, what can we do with Helbarad? Can he get up to Dol Amroth? No, he can't. So what he's going to do is just leap up into combat, because at least that's useful. Gets him a bit closer as well. Alright, let's start working on these combats. In here, we've got a Revenant versus a Men-at-Arms. This is a little chance for the Revenant, actually. He wins the fight, but obviously the Dol Amroth Men-at-Arms is in range of Imrahil, and he banners up, taking the victory. He'll need 6s. No, he won't. He'll need 5s. Oh, no. This is the Revenant I'm talking about. He'll need 6s by 4, so that's no wounds there. Up on the other side here, we've got 1 Specter fighting 3 Warriors of Dol Amroth. And the Specter loses it on fight value, though. And he gets rinsed. He dies 3 times over, which in hindsight is a charge I didn't even need to make because good went first, so that was really stupid. The Revenant fighting 2 Warriors of Gondor. This is another chance here. Another chance here to get against that fight 3. And they blow it with a terrible roll. And Gondor puts them down. Down goes a Specter. Once again, we've got the banner up the back. He's been fighting like crazy up the back here all game. He's fighting 2 Specters again. And he wins it again in spite of his neg 1. And he even kills a Specter. The Bannerman I painted up today is doing work. Alright, let's do all our Ranger heroes. We've got Halberad now fighting against... with 2 Rangers. I'll just do Halberad and the 1 Ranger fighting 1 Specter. The Rangers win. Surprise, surprise. And they absolutely annihilate the Specter. See you later, Specter. I think I should have made these all real Specters, and then they might have had a chance. That Ranger's dead now. Decided. 1v1, Specter v Ranger. Ooh, the Specter's got it on a 4. This guy's got Might and Fate, but they'll need 5s to wound. Strength 2, Courage something, so that'll be 5, so he survives. We've got another 1-on-1 up the back. Specter gets it again. Doesn't get a wound, though. It's amazing what happens when it's 1v1 on dice. So, Imrahil. He's transfixed. So, I think he still gets to... This is an old reference sheet, isn't it? Is this Hobbit? Yeah, so that's wrong. I think transfixed is... he'll still get all his attacks, but he can't call heroic actions. I don't know if he can shield when he's transfixed. I don't think he can. I don't think his attacks are touched until it's channeled. So he's still got 3 attacks and the higher fight value. If he gets a 6, Imrahil wins it. He gets a 1, a 2, and a 4. Of course, he's got his own banner. Oh, actually, let's have a look at Imrahil's special rule. He may not act as a banner for himself. No, he does not. He does not, and the Dol Amroth banner is out of range. So, with 2 Specters, 2 Revenants, no, 3 Specters. 3 Specters, a Revenant, and a Barrow White are all striking against his Courage. Now, he is Courage 6, so all of these models need 6 regardless. In fact, Defense 2, still 6s. So, we've got 5 strikes here. They got to win first, of course, and then they'll be wounding on 6s. So they got to get a 5. They get the 6. Right, Imrahil has lost the fight here, and we are re-rolling this twice. There's 2 wounds. 2 wounds on Imrahil. And again, against his Courage, another set. Oh, first 4 dice are nothing. Oh, a 6 on the final dice. 3 wounds on Imrahil. Let's throw all of Imrahil's fate into this. And he passes with 1. So from that play, these guys will back away. Imrahil is suddenly on 1 wound. That is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. What a mistake. And he's still paralyzed. Oh yeah, so we're not playing with the army bonuses because it's just a narrative match. It doesn't benefit to himself. Whew, crikey. Okay, well this just got very close, and it probably shouldn't be. Yeah, I completely forgot that the dude had a paralyze left. Okay, well, let's jump into priority. That was big. And evil finally win priority. It's all swinging around. Okay, so what we got to do is just swamp Imrahil again with that exact same combination. That's exactly what has to happen. He's paralyzed. Now, how does paralyze work? Let's quickly look up paralyze. When do you get a chance to get back up? At the end of each fight phase on a 6, he recovers. So Imrahil has a chance to be unparalyzed here if he rolls a 6. Oh! It was a 6, and then it hit the wall and it bounced to a 2. Okay, so he is still paralyzed. Let's get those guys in there. Let's get those guys in there. Quick, smart. So what we need to do with these Specters is try and just tag as many people as we can. We have lost a lot of numbers though, and we're going to have to rely on Terror saving us here. So let's get the Specter in there. Oh no, you know what? Now we need to stop people from peeling off Imrahil. So it's worth it. Let's do this. Let's throw someone into Halberad. Man, I've got like no models left. Hey. I've got like no models left. I'm not going to be able to stop that Ranger of the North. This guy's going to come back here. Okay, let's make some charges. Courage. Halberad is engaged. This Ranger here is going to charge the Barrow White. He passes. So he charges the Barrowite. Gandalf is going to charge... Okay, it's not actually Gandalf, it's just my Gandalf model from Range of Battle Companies. This guy, that range up the back, he fails. And the range up the very back, he passes. So, all is not lost. We can set up some pretty serious slingshots to help out Imrahil here. We're going to blow a lot of might, though. Shooting phase, there's nothing to be done. In fact, I'm probably just going to move those bowmen down because they're doing very little now. We'll help flesh out the numbers down here. We've got some warriors in here that can do some charges. Let's use the Knight of Dol Amroth to charge that guy. Ooh, he gets scared and he doesn't do anything. Knight of Dol Amroth inside the circle here to charge that model. He gets... Oh no, Courage 4, Courage 4. He makes the charge. That's one attack less, and then we'll throw the spear support in. Let's use one of those Dol Amroth men-at-arms. He's brave as he runs all the way around, and he charges those two. So, Imrahil is not fighting many now, which is really important. So, let's jump into the combat phase. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do call a heroic combat with Helberad. That's probably the only one we need to do, I think. The only one we need to do. Alright, so let's do that first. Helberad's got 2 attacks. He's on 4s. The 2 rangers of the north with him are on 5s. So, a big 6 here will be very helpful. Oh, the Specter gets it! So Helberad has to spend another point of might to make that heroic combat go off, leaving him with just 1. And now they need to roll their wounds. The Spectre is trapped, though. And the Spectre is dead. And now they all get to charge again. So Helberad is going to charge the Revenant. This Ranger of the North is going to charge that guy. And that Ranger of the North is going to charge that Revenant. So the Rangers are in there now. They've dug in. And Imrahil finds himself only fighting like a single... Oh, actually, he's going to be fighting with friends now. So that is huge. That is huge. Helberad's 6-inch banner. You can also roll an additional die for every warrior who didn't fight. Not sure about that special rule, Oni. Which one's that from? Oh, we've got someone knocking on the door. Hello. What have you got for me? Oh, thank you, honey. See you later. I'll see you later. There you go, Mum. Hazel's desperate to come on the stream, and she's barging her way into the studio. Yes, hello, honey. Alright, up next we've got... So we've done the heroic combats, we're into the normal combats now. We've got... Let's do the Rangers up the back. We've got Gandalf's Ranger fighting a Spectre. Ooh, a Spectre wins. Oh, the Spectre wounds him. Okay, the Ranger of the North's got a fate point on a 4+. He passes. Okay, so this Ranger's now out of fate. Exact same thing along, 1 combat down. Spectre wins again. Another 5 here, and that's another wound. Yeah. It is a wound. It is Gandalf, but it's not really Gandalf. That's my Ranger of the North Gandalf, you know, from my campaign.
Right.
Yeah, he's like still wearing his hat. So he's got a big 5 here. So this is another wound on a Ranger. Fate point here. Fate point pass. The Rangers are holding strong with their fate points. Let's keep moving this way. We've got the Dol Amroth Bannerman. He's just fighting a single Spectre now. He's been clutching this all game. Oh, he rolls Snake Eyes and the Spectre rolls a 6. Could this be the end of the Dol Amroth Bannerman? Needing a 5. It's not. He survives. But they back away, which they haven't done all game. Allowing for an opening, but of course there's no Spectres to take it now because they're pretty rinsed. We have a single Revenant over here. He gets a 5. He's fighting against 2 Dol Amroth. They get Snake Eyes, and then he's also fighting against a Ranger of the North. Oh, the Ranger gets a 6. What a bastard. Alright, the Revenant can back away, so he's not trapped. And they're defense 8, so they're going to need 6s by 4s for all of them, I think. No 6s, so that is the end. The Revenant survives. We've got a Spectre fighting 2 Dol Amroth guys. Let's go. Yes, Spectre fighting 2 Dol Amroth. Spectre loses big time, and he's trapped to... Yeah, he's gone. Big 6. He's very gone. Dol Amroth cutting their way through the Spectres now. Killing Imrahil is absolutely their only hope. Their only hope. We have... Now, who's got priority? The evil player has priority. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Imrahil fighting... trying to break this up to most benefit Imrahil. To most benefit the evil. I think it's all 6s, so it doesn't matter who's wounding him. They've all got the same amount of attacks. It literally means nothing. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Imrahil on a lone Specter, because I don't want Imrahil to kill the Barrow Wight or a Revenant. So we'll do that combat last. So a man-at-arms fighting a Specter. Oh, the Specter wins it. Oh, except he's got his banner. Nope, same result. Specter's fine. Man-at-arms is fine. A Revenant fighting Halberad. Ooh, the Revenant, big cheeky win. Halberad's banner? Nope. Halberad's got a big 6. This Revenant has a big 6 here. Oh, takes a wound off Halberad. Halberad's got a fate point, of course. Oh. And it fails. Second fate point. And it passes. So I think that's all Halberad's fate gone now. Let's have a look. Where are they? Rangers, Rangers. Where the hell are the Rangers? Rangers of the North. Here we go. Oh no, Halberad just has 1 fate point. My bad. So Halberad's down to 1 wound. 1 wound and 1 might. Interesting. With no fate. Alright, so that's that Revenant. That Spectre 1. That... Okay, so Barrow Wight fighting a Ranger of the North now. Barrow Wight wins. No, White Dice is Ranger of the North. Ranger of the North wins. Fails to wound, though. Oh, the Barrow Wight's trapped big time. Again, fails to wound. Okay, and now the big one. Oh no, we've got... Yes, the big one. They've all fought. Imrahil. He's paralyzed, but he still gets 3 attacks. Out of range of a banner, fighting a single Spectre. If Imrahil fluffs this roll, it could be very bad, but he shouldn't, on odds. Oh, he gets a 6. They both get 6s and he wins on fight value. Very lucky. He's not... Oh, wait a minute. How many... He's not... I'm thinking of Transfix. He's paralyzed. They automatically lose fights. What? Right, rulebook time. Rulebook time. This is big. I kept thinking that the Barrow Wight was casting Transfix. He's paralyzed. That's completely different. Special rules, magical powers, paralyzed. The target may make no duel rolls and automatically loses any duel unless joined by a friendly model. During the end phase on a 6, he may get up. He auto-loses the fight. He absolutely 100% auto-loses the fight. So the Spectre wins. And because all of these models weren't killed, Imrahil is still trapped. So he is taking 2 dice. On a single 5, Imrahil will die? No, actually, there is a space for him to back away. He can move 1 inch, so it's just 1 dice. On a 5+, Imrahil dies. Oh my god, it's a 4! It's a 4! Okay. Imrahil survives. I forget, he auto-loses combat. That is huge. How did I forget that? Luckily, they won last time anyway. Oh, right, is that what you were saying, Oni? Sorry. Yep, my bad. Classic. Alright. Let's jump into priority. We need a win for Angmar here. They do not get it. So, Halberad is going to fly into the Revenant. The Ranger of the North is going to pin the Barrow Wight. The Man-at-Arms is going to pin this Spectre. Oh, hang on a minute. Courage checks. Alright, Ranger of the North. He passes. Halberad. He passes on double 6s and then falls off because of his stupid banner. The Man-at-Arms passes. Imrahil can't do anything. Oh, Imrahil can try and get up. Imrahil doesn't get up last turn. Ranger of the North charging the Revenant. He passes. Ranger of the North charging that Revenant as well. He passes. Yeah, here we go. So we're pinning everyone in now. Knights of Dol Amroth charging the Spectre. And he passes. So, most importantly, no one... There's like no evil models to get in combat with Imrahil now. So Imrahil is not engaged, and there's basically no one to charge him. There's one Revenant here, actually. Man-at-Arms. He passes. Jeez, the courage has been hot this turn. Alright, let's charge forth. Knights of Dol Amroth. He passes. Every courage test passed so far this turn. We're going to move the Dol Amroth banner. Man of Gondor charging the Revenant. Yep. The Spectre moving in here. So let's send the Gondor banner the Dol Amroth banner rather over that flank in case Imrahil gets up. We'll put a spear support there, and we'll put a spear support there. So, and then those guys can just make a couple of charges to get in. Pass and pass. Every courage check pass. Literally the worst outcome possible for evil. Not one failed courage check. Imrahil is not fighting a single model. So what we need is somehow we need evil to survive this. Lockie, he's prone. Oh. Oh, he is also prone. Read the rest. He is also prone. This is what happens when you're live on stream, guys. You can't remember rules. Paralyzed. Bubbity 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 bub. It is knocked prone and may do nothing until he recovers. Right. I see. He is trapped. Well, in that case, that means something very important, guys. Imrahil could not back away. And that means he takes an additional strike at the end of last turn's combat. On a 5+, he will die once again. Oh, it's a 2. Okay, so nothing happened and he's still alive. Turn presumes as normal. Thank goodness. Okay, let's do these combats. It's going to be a big round. Evil need to get lucky again here to have any chance. We've got a Revenant fighting 1 up the back here, which you guys won't be able to see. It's just in there. Revenant loses. Revenant doesn't die. He backs away, though. A Knight of Dol Amroth with spear support fighting a Specter. Specter loses, and Specter dies. That's an important one. That's next to Imrahil. We need those numbers. We've got a Knight of... No, just a Man-at-Arms fighting a Specter. Oh, it's a tie. Man-at-Arms has a banner. Oh, and he banners down. Specter wins. Needs a 5. Come on, Specter. Ah, God, these guys have killed nobody. We need a Revenant fighting Helberad. Come on, Revenant. You were such a clutch last turn. Oh, 2 dice rolling off the table there. Let's just roll that whole hand again. I'll have to go get that later. It's 4s and 5s. Helberad gets it. And the Revenant is also... No, he's not trapped. And isn't taking any wounds anyway, so he'll back away. The Barrow White fighting 1 Ranger. Barrow White on 1 Ranger. Ranger gets it. God, these guys are insane. Their dice are so hot. Revenant versus Ranger. Ranger gets it. Every one of these dice for the last like 3 turns has been like 1-on-1s with these Rangers, and they've lost like no combats. In the last 2 turns anyway. They've been very lucky. The Revenant can back away, so he's okay. Okay. We have a Ranger, a Knight of Dol Amroth, and 2 supports fighting a single Specter. Oh wow, that's some terrible rolling, but the Specter still manages to lose. And that's not terrible rolling. Specter is annihilated. We've got a bunch of 1-on-1s up the back. Let's see if the odds continue to hold. These are the guys who lost their combats. They got no fate points. Ranger of the North wins. Ranger of the North kills. Specter wins. Specter doesn't kill. So that guy dies, and those 2 all back away. Alright. 1 more combat over the back here. It's a 2-on-1 in favor of Gondor. And they get a big 6. Jesus, man, this is just ridiculous. And a 5. This is like Mark's dice all over again, except for 6s and 5s. Okie dokie. Another big turn. Does Imrahil get up from being paralyzed? No, he does not. Huge priority. It goes to evil. It goes to evil. The Witch King of Angmar says, Lockie is forgetting the special rule where I swoop in and grab Imrahil if he goes down to 1 wound. We might need the Witch King of Angmar at this rate. He's literally in the cabinet next to me. Oh, dear me. Dear me, dear me. So, I'm getting messages on Facebook? No. We're good, just making sure that you guys can still hear and see nicely. So what is my plan here? What is my plan? I've got to get people on Imrahil. I've just got no models left. I've got a Revenant, a Specter, a Revenant in there. So I've got my 3 Revenants nice and close to Imrahil now, as well as my Barrow Wight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to charge Imrahil with every single one of them. It's going to charge Imrahil with every single Specter. With every single Revenant, rather. It's a bit hard to show you guys correctly, but I think that works. And then everyone else is just going to have to countercharge. In fact, if I set that up in the right order, no, this guy will have to charge through a control zone. So this guy's going to charge Halberad. And now there's just going to be a lot of countercharges. What about this guy? This guy, he'd have to move through control zones to get there. So what he'll do is he'll enter this guy's control zone first and wrap into them. That's another couple that can't countercharge. And now it is countercharge city. So, let's see all the courage checks. Knight of Dol Amroth right here. Knight of Dol Amroth on the Revenant. He passes. Courage 4, just. He gets in. We'll throw a spear support on him. Let's do another Knight of Dol Amroth on the other Revenant. He fails! And it's the Bannerman! So he's blocking up the walkway! Okay, that's big. So, Imrahil is fighting this turn. We got to stop this Revenant, though. Little Gondor Swordsman there. He passes. There you go. So that guy gets peeled off. But Imrahil is guaranteed to be fighting one model. Honestly, what I should have done is pulled the banner out and let others charge him. Yeah, too risky. Alright, let's go. The Ranger charging the Barrow Wight. He bravely charges in. That Ranger charging that Revenant. He fails. And look, he's in the same position. He's in the same position. Because he's failed right there, no one else can get in. Okay, so let's just get all these guys. Oh, actually, it's all courage. Pass. Fail. Here we go. It's all happening now. And pass. Okay, so there we go. They get in. I guess what I can do is throw a spear support in here to make sure that guy dies. And all that. Yeah, I can pretty much just sort of form up here. It's not really relevant at this point. All that matters is these couple of combats. So what can we do? Well, we can call some heroics. So, Halberad's going to call a heroic combat with his last point of might. That Ranger of the North? Yeah, that Ranger of the North can call a combat. He's got 1 might. That Ranger of the North can call a combat. That's what can happen. That's what can happen. So, Ollie, seeming as you've just joined us, Imrahil here is on 1 wound, no fate. He's currently paralyzed, so he auto-loses fights. So what I've got to do with my Rangers, who have made a charge in on the flank, is get them to make their kills and heroic combat into Imrahil's opponents, so that they can have a chance of helping him fight. However, he is fighting this Revenant in here that cannot be charged and cannot be hit by anyone from a countercharge because he's between the 2 pillars. So Imrahil is going to fight a model on his own. It's just about how many models he is fighting, because at the moment he's fighting these 2 Wraiths here. Those 2 Revenants, rather. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do the Halberad heroic combat first. This is Halberad's last point of might. He's fighting a Specter. He's got his banner. Ooh, Halberad has lost on 3s, going down to a 4. He'll banner. And he banners to a 3. He's got no might to spend. Halberad loses his heroic combat. He's on 1 wound, no fate. A 5. We'll see a dead Halberad right here. Oh, so close. Halberad survives. That's important. Let's try the next heroic combat, which unfortunately now won't happen. Because it's a Ranger fighting... Oh, actually, the Barrow Wight is trapped. No, the Barrow Wight's not trapped. Let's just do the fight and see. Barrow Wight versus Ranger. Ranger wins on fight value, just on Snake Eyes. Like, he'll have the banner as well. And he'll need a 6 to wound. He fails to get the wound, and he doesn't have a might point anymore. So that heroic combat fails. Which means that Imrahil is fighting 2 models, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing. Oh, except this fight. He could have called the heroic combat in. So that's the most obvious one to do. So we'll do that. I'm basically going to be out of might with my Rangers now. No, I'll have 1 might left. So, all the Rangers have got 3 dice. They're on 6s, so they win. And they need 4s to wound. So there you go. That heroic combat will go off. That's the obvious one. And then he will be able to charge the Revenant with a spear support. So that pulls off one of the models from Imrahil. Let's do all the normal fights now. We've got this Revenant is fighting a lot. He's fighting 4 somehow. I don't know how that happened. kind of miscalculated my distribution there, but that's what's happening. He loses. They need 6s by 4s, and he's trapped. They get no 6s. They get 2 6s. They are strength 3, he's defense 8. That's actually 6s by 5s. 6s by 5s. Or is it 6s by 4s? I should know this. 3 on 8 is 6s by 4s. 2 4s. No! No 4s! The Revenant survives. And they all back away. That could be important if we need a future turn here. It's going to be very important. The fact I didn't lose any of these core 5 models is so huge. Yeah, I've had 1 Specter die this turn, that's it. Okay, let's do the big one here. We've got 2 Rangers with 2 Spear supports fighting a Revenant. They clutch it on 6s. This is another chance to see a Revenant go down here, looking for 6s by 4s. Actually, no, the Rangers are strength 8. Strength 4. So that's actually 6s. On the other fight, it was all strength 3 models. So that will make those results the 4 strikes from the strength 3s. Now we're looking for 6s from the Rangers. There you go. Revenant killed. Revenant killed. Excellent work, Rangers. That's a big win. And now there's 1 fight left. Imrahil, 3 dice. Oh, he automatically loses because he's prone. The Revenant has 1 chance to strike him. Imrahil is prone. 2 dice to roll a 5. He had 2 strikes last turn, and all he rolled was a 4. 1 5 on this dice, and Imrahil is dead. And I believe evil will be courted. So it's actually going to come down to this turn. These dice roll regardless. We won't get another turn, because we have been courted this turn. Oh, this is clutching for the win here. No matter whichever way this dice rolls will be victory for one side or the other. Let's roll them one at a time for dramatic effect. It's a 3! Oh, we're down to the last dice roll, ladies and gentlemen. 1 dice roll to go. Will Imrahil survive to return to the fiefdoms? He will! Double 3s! Imrahil survives 4 strikes while he is prone, and he is not killed. He survives on 1 wound remaining. The evil forces now have 2 Revenants, a Barrow Wight, and a Specter. That is 4 models left out of their 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 29. They are well and truly courted, and the game ends in a good victory. It was close in the end, because the Barrow Wight finally did something with his Paralyze. Up front, the Spectres were just getting murdered. I think having the Dol Amroth Men-at-Arms as well as the banner just means that each, 2 Spectres were fighting against 4 dice and a higher fight value, so it was very tough going for them. I think, here you go, 1 Knight of Dol Amroth died. A single Knight. And Imrahil fluffed a combat. But, yeah, crazy stuff. Our Bannerman did well. He survived till the end. The guy that we just painted up live on stream, he won a couple of key fights and killed a bunch of Spectres. So I'm very proud of my new Bannerman. And our new Patreon's new Imrahil did exceptionally well, taking hits to the face, getting stomped on, but managing to survive long enough for the Rangers to arrive. So, I'm going to switch over now, quickly set the camera up, and grab the Patreon giveaway wheel. If anyone wants to be in the draw to win Imrahil, you've got about 3 minutes to run over to Patreon and quickly pledge, and I'll add you to the wheel just before I come back live again. But I will see you guys in 3.5 minutes for our live giveaway segment. Oh, except I don't have my holding screen up. Doo-doo-doo. Holding, please. Alright, see you guys in just a couple minutes. Bang! Bang! We're back. Okay. Hello! Ready for some juicy giveaways. Let me swing back over to the chat. I've just added a couple of extra people who just joined, so welcome, Marcel and Ross and I think someone else. Let me swing on back to the chat screen. There we go. Music too loud. Music too loud as in like right now music too loud? Or was that before? Either way, I can pull down the music. Where's my mixer? Ooh, bye music. Bang no. Okay, so that was a wicked little battle report. It was a little bit gnarly than I thought it was going to be. A bit unbalanced, maybe. Where is the man of the hour? Mr. Imrahil. We'll get some juicy basing on him. Maybe some, like, city rubble. Make him look pretty juicy. It was a joke. Aaron says I'm going to need a bigger wheel very soon. Oh, right. So music is off? Music shouldn't... Here we go. I'll put the music back up now. You can... I'll just blam you all with music. I'm still sleep deprived after election knife, so the sudden bang gave me a real shock. Sorry, Declan. Jacinta won, didn't she? Little Miss Ardern. Well done to her. All right, now let's do a big old spin. So it's the 20th anniversary. So thank you so much to everyone who's been tuned in for so long for our 20th stream. Over a year's worth of these live streams, and many of the names that are here from the first times, they're still here. They're still, you know, watching and tuning in and supporting on Patreon, which is mind-blowing and amazing. So thank you so much to everyone. Let's do a big old spin, and let's see who gets to take home our very special Imrahil or become their official sponsor. And Imrahil has a lot of work to do in this campaign, so this is a big win. There's like whole campaign arcs about Dol Amroth in this Battle Games of Middle-earth campaign. It's some of my favorite stuff, like Pasgar and the attacks on Glamogarth and some really cool stuff. So let's do a big old spin. Alright, we are in number 16. Our potential winners are Jill Munro, Rain Mikola, Jacob Garcia, Ray Mack, Darren McWilliams, Charlie Moreno, Ned Chielli, Laurie Ingram, Rowan Walters, I can't read my own writing, Russells, Daniel Conway, and Yuso Hutunen. So let's get a big old D something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need a D20, will do. We're looking for the numbers 1 to 12, and we're re-rolling the rest. It is number 4, which is Ray Mack! Ray! A big old boy from a long time. Ray's been a commenter and Patreon for a good long while, from the early days. So well done, Ray. You are now the official sponsor of our Imrahil model, and you've got yourself the chance to barrack for him and watch his journey unfold over the remaining campaign. Watch Imrahil go absolutely mental. Today he nearly died. And he got paralyzed, so hopefully he'll lift his game, but he didn't die, and he was the contingent scenario criteria, so really he carried the whole team. So he did very well indeed. So Ray Mack, you are now the sponsor of Mr. Imrahil. There you go, look at this little beast. Come on, focus on Imrahil. You can do it. Yeah, there we go. Look at this little beast. Well done. And I'm also super happy with my Dol Amroth banner. That was a really fun painting session for me, because I think I discovered like a new way to paint my silvers. I'm really liking Leadbelcher Prime, Canoptic Alloy Layer, and then a wash, and then a highlight with Stormhost Silver. I'm loving that. Loving that. So, McGregor says both of my guesses were literally one off. Not bad. Alright, my dudes, thank you so much. I do not know what is happening in the next scenario. I think it might be Aemma. Maybe? Does anyone know what the next book we're doing is? What was the last one we did? The last one we did was Saruman. I think it's Aemma. It might be Aemma, or it could be going to Moria. I think it's Aemma. If it is Aemma, he's sitting over there, and it's the brand newie. Maybe. We'll see. I might go retro. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, dudes. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Boys and girls of Zorpazorp, have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely week. And see you in a fortnight, and even sooner on the channel, because I've got some sweet uploads getting pumped out. If you haven't watched the 24-hour Necron challenge, even if you don't like 40k, go and watch it, because it's freaking hilarious. And I finally get something painted, which is nice. Okay, see you soon, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.